What's up, everybody? Welcome to the TimcastIRL podcast. We're chilling. I'm hanging out with some people.
You know, just hanging.
Just hanging, man.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing?
We got...
Hey-yo.
That's Adam. You're supposed to say your name.
Oh, yeah.
Well, normally you say it.
No, I leave it to you guys now.
You're like, oh, that's true. You're like, I'm
hanging out with some peeps.
Adam Krigler. That's me. How you
Yeah,
doing?
Yeah, look at that.
Thanks for showing up.
And then there's someone else, I think.
There's
I can't remember her
someone
name. What's her
else.
name?
Sour Patch Lids.
Sour
Blink
Patch
That's my
Lids.
name. I'm adopting it. I'm rolling with it.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's going on?
Yeah, what is going on?
It is a crazy day, man. The news has been really nuts.
Feels the same.
You know, it's really weird because we've all been locked down for so much.
Mhm.
You know, for those that are listening, like all three of us have been talking about this. There's a whole lot of stories that are like not really stories. They're just like fragments of stories. And I think it's because we can't go anywhere.
Yep.
We can't do anything. We're like, so you look at the front line, you know, the front page headline news, and it's like Donald Trump today yelled at a dog. Oh, and it's like it's always something about what Trump is doing. I think it's because politics is easy. If we can't go out and go to the movies, how do we talk about movies?
Didn't
right?
they say something about it finally being over? Like they're lifting the restrictions. We can go out. I thought that was a thing. No, am I wrong? No, I heard you guys
In a
cheer
lot of
from the
places.
other room, like, "Yay, we're free!" And I was like, "Oh, we're free. This is nice."
Well, not here in Jersey, but Wisconsin Supreme Court
Yeah.
just
Oh.
basically shut
Wisconsin.
down. Like
Wisconsin's like, "Yep, you're free. No one can tell
yeah,
you not
it was
to."
it was a
Yeah.
close ruling. It was 4-3 that they won't extend the lockdown.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to it because every day when we start pulling news and looking at stuff,
Oh man,
it's like, oh man.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yesterday was brutal.
We're gonna go do anything.
We're going to do things
Yeah.
again. Oh, my
Do-
gosh.
Go bowling.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Yesterday was brutal
So
because
excited.
Oh man.
every so often there's days where it's just there'll be like 300 stories
Mhm.
that don't relate to each other that are microscopic that have like
I know.
and that's when you know it's like a really bad day for the news where
Yeah.
they're desperately trying to squeeze something out. I
It's
try to do
true.
more like, you know, philosophical or predictive segments in that case.
But soon we'll be going to the movies again, and we'll be telling you guys what we think of movies.
Oh, man. I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
wait.
But this is what's
Remember
crazy.
those days?
Yeah.
Like when we did the Birds of Prey segment,
Man, that was fun.
but that was a big story that people were talking about on Twitter. It was, and now it's like we can't go out and do anything. So there's
know.
no, like, it's over. You know.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what's scary is apparently the mayor of LA said that we're going to be locked down forever.
LA is.
I kid you not. This guy's an idiot.
The population of LA drops.
Yes.
Right. But this guy, he said he was like, we're not going to completely reopen until there's a cure
Okay.
For a
Like,
virus.
A cure.
for a virus.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
As this guy had been through third grade biology.
Right.
They show you a little picture, a little, you know, viral phage or whatever things, bacteria phage. It's like, we have no cures for viruses.
Yeah.
So he basically said, we're locking down indefinitely.
Yep.
He clarified, he was like, that the health department lady official said, it's going to be at least 3 more months till August.
Okay.
And everybody went nuts on Twitter. They were like, you know, dear Lord, help us. And
Yeah.
then he goes on TV and he's like, no, I got to clarify that. We're going to be locked down. Like, we're not going to be completely reopened much longer than that. It was like, you're not making things better, dude.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
So apparently this guy doesn't know what a virus is and doesn't know that we don't have cures for these things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's freaky. You know, it's weird because it's all these like blue states that are doing it. And red states are opening up.
Yeah, and it
They're
sounds
fine.
like they're just making decisions off things they hear instead of
Dude.
actual science.
Right. Michigan's the worst.
Seems like it. Yeah.
Because like Whitmer, the governor, said this is an executive order, not a suggestion or whatever. Like, and people are like, there's signs saying like obey.
Yeah.
What is wrong with your
It's weird. Every
state?
time I see her talk or see a picture of her, I'm like, oh, is this an SNL sketch? No. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's actually her. It is. Huh.
Right.
Huh.
Why,
Okay.
Who does she look like? She looks like someone from SNL.
Doesn't
right?
she?
I think she
Yeah.
must.
Yeah.
Like she's not a real person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there is some. We got a bunch of stories. We'll see what we get to. But the first one we really want to talk about is a 20-ton, 100-foot-long Chinese rocket part. Apparently, it was
this is
flying over the
insane.
U.S.
Over the U.S.
Almost hit New York. We'll get to it. But before we get started, make
Oh my
sure
God, this is crazy.
make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you jump in the super chat, and we will do our best to read your comments. We get to them. You can follow me at Timcast, and you can follow Adam over at Adam Krigler on Twitter, both of us, Twitter and Instagram. But you can send Adam story suggestions on Twitter.
Yeah, please
and
do.
we use the story suggestions. We do.
Yeah.
So do that, and then also, you know, share this video, because one of the segments we're going to do today is YouTube admits that nobody likes watching CNN, but they're going to share them anyway. And it's funny because the BuzzFeed people and like these lefty blogs are angry that people are uploading videos to YouTube and then sharing them on Facebook. I kid you not. They are now mad that YouTube hosts user videos and people can share the link. I'm not exaggerating. BuzzFeed's trying to get this shut down.
That's crazy.
They're pressuring YouTube to stop the ability of sharing URLs. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, how?
I'm like, they'll just go to BitChute, dude. They'll go to Minds. Just post the video. These people are nuts, man.
Yep.
They won't stop until these people are like drone authoritarian
They
psychopaths.
Want all control,
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy.
So let's do this. Why don't we talk about a Chinese rocket piece screaming over the U.S.? That's actually I'm using that's a quote from another article from Futurism. But let's read the news. So here's the story from Popular Mechanics. Chunks of China's powerful rocket fall back to Earth, narrowly missing NYC. It is the largest piece of space junk to fall uncontrolled in nearly 30 years.
Yeah, since 1991, I guess.
But check this out. This thing's massive. This is why I was like, they say a rocket piece, and it's like, what does that mean? Like a tiny little rock or something?
Right.
No, this thing's 20 tons.
Well, tiny rocks would just burn up in the atmosphere, so it has to
I mean,
be
if it was,
big
but
to
if it
make
was like stage 1 and it fell before it escaped the atmosphere, and it was like,
Well, and made it all the way across the entire country and landed in the Atlantic. That doesn't.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't.
So how did this
I don't
thing
think that's stage 1.
fly over the U.S.? Well, this the large core stage of China's long March 5B rocket re-entered Earth's atmosphere and plummeted out of control to the surface earlier this week. At 100 feet long and 16 feet wide, it is the largest piece of space junk to fall uncontrolled from low Earth orbit in almost 30 years.
That's huge.
Initial reports suggested that the almost 20-ton rocket stage had fallen into the Atlantic Ocean off the west coast of Africa.
20 tons?
20 tons, bro.
Dang.
Yeah. Imagine if that hit New York. New reports from social media and some African news organizations suggest pieces of the rocket may have been strewn across parts of the Côte d'Ivoire. However you pronounce it.
Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast, there you go. The heavy lift rocket, which was carrying China's prototype crew capsule, successfully launched from Wenchang Launch Center on Hainan Island off the country's southern coast. Typically, rockets have a first stage that propels them for the first few minutes after launch, while the second stage helps the payload reach orbit. But Long March 5B was different. Instead, the rocket had a single core stage and 4 boosters that propelled it off the launch pad. The speed and angle of the rocket's decaying orbit made it difficult to track. Predictions spanned a range of sites from New York City to New Zealand, according to Spaceflight Now.
That's a pretty large range. What?
Yeah, nobody knew where it was going.
That's
like
insane.
if you're gonna get that prediction, you might as well not predict it at all.
2 different sides of the planet.
Right.
What? It can hit
Seriously.
anywhere.
The U.S. Air Force's 18th Space Control Squadron, which tracks man-made objects in orbit around Earth, confirmed the rocket's re-entry was on May 11th at around 11:33 a.m. Initial reports claimed the spacecraft had plummeted into the ocean off Africa's west coast. Now 2 villages in the Ivory Coast have reported finding what they believe to be debris from the fallen rocket stage, according to images posted to social media and reported in the French language news organization Afrique Soir. Jonathan McDowell, an astronomer at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, tweeted the location of one fallen object, a nearly 40-foot-long pipe seen in a number of photos, is directly on the CZ-5B re-entry track.
Look at that thing.
Whoa, man.
Holy cow.
Could you imagine getting hit by that?
Wait, but hold on. I got a question though. It seems like it wasn't close to New York. It was on the west coast of Africa. How is that? I mean,
perhaps
it's the
we haven't gotten to
Atlantic,
that
but-
part yet.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So
hang in there.
that's a different part of the rocket.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
man.
Let's
All right,
let's
keep reading.
read.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, look. They want to claim it nearly hit New York. They
Yeah,
better
that's
back
what
this
they-
up.
exactly.
Yeah, let's go.
While there's no official word on whether these pieces of debris are actually parts of the fallen rocket stage, it's looking more and more likely. Lassina Zerbo, executive secretary of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization, tweeted May 12th that the International Monitoring System's infrasound network, primarily designed to detect nuclear blasts in the atmosphere, registered signals of debris traveling at supersonic speeds in the area. What's the precedent here? In 1991, the Soviet Salyut 7 space station tumbled back to Earth, breaking up over Argentina. The Mir space station, which was decommissioned in 2001 and broke apart during a controlled re-entry above waters near Fiji, is the largest man-made object to re-enter Earth's atmosphere. And NASA's Skylab space station famously pummeled a small Australian town in 1979.
Whoa.
Yikes,
I'd
man.
never heard of that. Jeez.
If the Long March 5B core stage re-entered Earth's atmosphere just 15 minutes earlier, chunks of it very likely could have fallen across New York City, Ars Technica reported. But it isn't the first time China has played fast and loose with falling rocket parts. In March, when China launched its Long March 3B rocket, a booster crash-landed downrange in the Guizhou province. Late last year, another Long March 3B rocket ferried 2 satellites into orbit, but dropped sections of its boosters on a settlement near the launch site. In 2018, yet another booster fell from the sky after the launch of a Long March 3B rocket and exploded just outside of a small town in the Guangxi province. Witnesses posted stunning video clips of the fallen booster to social media.
Wow.
In addition to smashing into the ground with unbelievable force, these boosters often still have traces of the toxic propellant hydrazine in them. As tempting as it is, if one falls into your yard, don't try to get a closer look.
Holy
You think your
moly.
yard would exist still if a 20-ton
my
rocket fell
gosh.
into it? That's insane. So they're saying 15 minutes earlier, and it would have hit New York City.
Yeah,
So-
but
so
they
that's
just
what it
said,
is.
you know what, man? They also
I mean,
said
that
it may
makes
have
sense.
hit.
Narrowly missing New York City, 15 minutes. I mean, that's all it takes.
Or what,
'cause
New
it's-
Zealand?
It's flipping around. Well, I mean, doesn't the International Space Station go around the globe in 90 minutes? Like,
I have no idea. Is that it?
Oh, I don't
I
know.
think so. Yeah, I think they're flying at like 13,000 miles an hour. So they go around the globe every 90 minutes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So it would make sense, I guess.
Makes
Like,
sense.
So 15 minutes, they're in Africa. 15 minutes earlier, they're hitting New York City.
Holy
My
cow.
my question though, what would have happened if it hit New York?
War?
You think so?
No, I'm asking.
Ooh, sorry, a rocket just decimated one of your biggest cities.
I don't
Like,
think anybody would believe him that it was an accident.
That's
Yeah, I
what
don't
I'm
think
thinking.
so.
Man,
there.
think about like the damage you could do with an actual missile.
Yeah.
But think about how much more damage you would do with just a giant 100-foot, 20-pound slab of steel and
That's
debris.
uncontrollably falling onto Earth.
Slams into a
Man.
building.
Yeah,
that would
that's-
just
that'd
it would
wreck.
kill so many people.
Scary, man.
It would streak across a city. Wow, man, that would be nuts. It's kind of like remember we were talking about the tungsten rod being
Yeah.
dropped from the satellite.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you don't need a chemical explosive. You can
Exactly.
just like
Just
we
slam
talked
it
about
into the
this
earth.
the GI Joe movie I think it was
Mhm.
where the satellite drops the tungsten rod and just wipes out London.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think it would be that bad.
I
But,
mean,
but
who knows? This is something that we've talked about in the past. Like, oh yeah, when was that GI Joe movie? When did that come out?
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Imagine like what they have nowadays.
the tungsten rod
actually
thing
in
has been like
space.
theorized for a long time, I guess,
Mhm.
of like just like firing a high speed chunk of like very dense metal or whatever.
Have you seen Westworld?
I've seen the first season and parts of the second season.
So I just finished. No spoilers here, but I just finished the 3rd season, and there's this scene where one of the main characters was in the army, right? And he's doing some he's like tagging someone with something. He's got like these glasses that let him like pinpoint someone, and then he's like, yeah, target acquired, hit it, and then it cuts to the satellite, and it just you see this missile unlock and just go into space, and then or drop down out of space and hit this person, and the explosion's really small, just the person just poof.
Haven't you ever seen the drone strikes in like Palestine or whatever?
I mean, I haven't seen
These
actual
are
videos of
crazy
it, but
videos, man. Where you'll see like it's like black and white grainy footage, and there'll be like a box appear over a guy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you'll see just like boom, and the guy blows up.
just one person.
Just one person.
It's insane.
It's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Holy cow.
Hey man, look, the United States was like, we
Jeez.
want to figure out how to kill somebody,
And nobody
only
else.
the one person
Only the one person.
from very far away.
space.
We figured it
Space
out.
Force.
Love it.
Drones, Reaper missiles, Hellfire, whatever they're called.
Yep.
Yeah, so I wonder if there's going to be anything coming from this, right? Like,
Yeah.
look, I know that we didn't get hit by it,
Right.
but does this, does Donald Trump then come out and be like, Chinese rockets, very dangerous? Is there going to be a stern talking to, at the very least?
Yeah. Or is it like the science community is like, sorry, our bad. Ooh.
The science community,
We got
China's,
lucky. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
they
I
got a
don't like
bad
them
track
right now.
record going on right now, man.
You got a good point.
Yeah. So
Oh man.
I wonder. We probably have treaties for this stuff, though.
Yeah, probably.
But I'll tell you what, man. You look at what China does. You look at how they with climate change, with carbon emissions, and like they don't care.
No.
Pollution, plastic waste, they don't care. They're launching rockets. They don't care. Like,
No.
You think anybody in any of these communist Chinese party people, you know what they're probably doing? Some guy probably walked in and like, I have a very serious report. One of our 20-ton rocket stages almost crashed in New York. And then like some communist guy starts laughing. Almost, huh? Wow, that would have been funny.
Is there anything on that report that says it would have hit China? No. All right. Well, why
All
are
right,
we?
we
Why
don't
do we
worry
care?
about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's actually interesting because in this article it says that it used to
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead. It used to hit. Where am I at? There we go.
Lost the mouse. There we go.
So
Okay.
so they're older ones, the 3B, somewhere in here it says that, and it was falling, and it was falling on China. So they were hitting their own towns.
I'm very worried about this.
So they're like, man, we got to up our game and make the 5B rocket, because
Hit
then it'll
somewhere
go
else.
into orbit, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. That's what I'm
love
seeing.
it.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
just
that makes
pointing
sense
it
to
out.
me.
Just pointing out what I'm
My
seeing here.
allergies
I
are
love it.
lighting my face on fire right now. Just to be
Kim's
completely
dying.
honest, I am
Allergies sound terrible.
They're
awful.
awful, dude.
These
Both of
trees,
you, huh?
man.
Oh,
Man,
Not so bad for me.
I am
but
so grateful
We
I do
basic-
not have allergies.
Yeah.
We basically live in a forest.
Thanks.
We
Sorry.
basically live in a
Thanks,
forest.
Nelson.
But no, this is the funny thing. You think China's hitting itself? You think
Yeah.
they care if they hit us?
No, they were hitting themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not super concerned. Stop
they
hitting
solved that
yourselves.
problem.
That's the thing.
There you go.
They're like, we need a 20-ton rocket now. And that'll get our stuff all the way out there, and then we don't have to
Further
worry
away
about
from us. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yeah. So some guy walks into the Communist Party meetings like, we have a serious problem. Our rockets keep crash landing on our own cities. And then they, draw some calculations, and now it's New Zealand, New York, and they're
Yeah.
like, good job. That guy got a promotion.
that's better.
Yeah, he got,
Good work.
he got a raise.
Now it's not hitting us. But there is more news on the China front. So the question about responsibility it's an important one. I know, we're laughing, we're having a good time. Like, what if this 20-ton rocket stage just crashed into New York, killed thousands of people? No, it's not funny, man.
No, it's
China's
not.
been doing messed up stuff.
Mhm.
Think about this. If they did something like this intentionally and then just feign like, oh no, it was an accident. Oh, we didn't know.
Yep.
But what about the stuff they do know about, right?
Yeah.
Take a look at this story.
What do they know?
U.S.
Ooh.
officials, Chinese hackers are targeting vaccine research. So I have talked about this before on my other channels, but look, we've got China doing a few things. There's I'll use the Simpsons joke. There's subliminal, liminal, and superliminal. Do you remember that joke?
No.
That's how, like, the guy was talking about how they get people to join the Navy,
Uh-huh.
and then Lisa's like superliminal, and then he goes, opens the window, and he goes, "Hey, you, join the Navy!" Like, he just yells it out. But
That's great.
so China hires talent scholars or whatever, like talent scouts or something,
Okay.
and they secretly get money from the Chinese government. They lie about it to the feds. They're not supposed to get this money, and they're not disclosing it to federal agencies that are paying them. So so it's basically U.S. tax dollars funding this research, and then these people are giving that information to the Chinese government.
Well, selling it, wouldn't they be?
Technically, right.
Right.
Because they're being paid to be in this program. It's like,
Yeah.
come on. I wonder when these people are going to get charged with treason or something. We have a cat on the table, by the way.
There's
Yeah.
Go to the wide shot.
There we go.
There
You
you
can
go.
see it.
Cat butthole.
He just decided to be on the
Yay.
show.
He's joining us. He's our
So
guest.
that's the superliminal. I mean, they're still hiding it. I'm being somewhat silly.
Mm-hmm.
But then they do the disinformation, where they can still feign, oh, no, we didn't do anything wrong. We were just telling our opinions.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not us. And then there's the overt hacking. So that's why, look, man,
Is that what this is?
yeah, so they're trying to steal our vaccine research.
I mean, we know this. They're actually trying to hack us right now.
If according to the U.S. government, that's what they're trying to do.
That's insane.
I believe it.
So this doesn't
Totally
surprise
believe
me
it.
at all. Actually, hey, maybe you'll see the cat. He's coming over this way. He's trying to push the cup off the table. So what really kind of surprised me about the rocket and them launching this rocket right now was that they have a little bit of a pandemic going on there right now, and they're taking out time to work on a rocket, and they're taking out time to
Well,
target
so
our
are we.
vaccinations.
Well, we're working on our rockets too. We're about to launch.
They
Americans
managed to
into
get one
space.
into space. So the timing just caught me off guard a little bit. I was like, what are they doing?
I mean,
Maybe
we're
they're
still
thinking
doing
ahead.
stuff, right?
True. Technically
know.
correct.
We're locked down.
Yeah, we're about to send, like in a week, we're gonna send Americans into space.
Yeah, you just weld people's doors shut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very efficient.
It's like hard for
I mean,
us.
Yeah.
We got that dang old Constitution. Not like these governors are respecting it or anything, but at
big
least it's
deal.
still there.
Well, at least
And
the,
we got
the
courts.
courts were on our side
True,
on that.
yeah, at least
so
on that
that's
Well, on
one.
the side of the people.
yeah.
It's crazy to me. It's like, I don't know, man. I think Rogan was asking me this, is like, over time, does society just become authoritarian? Like, China's so old, like as a culture, as a civilization. Does it just happen that way? America's young. We're young, rebellious. It's like, think about it in terms of like an actual human.
Mhm.
You know, we're like teenagers compared to everybody else, and we're like romping around. We got guns and stuff and rockets, and we're like, freedom. You
Well, I
can't
got
tell
to
me
think
what to
about,
do.
well, what about like Europe? I mean, granted, it has changed a lot over the past 200 years too, you know, but no, you're right, man.
Yeah,
the more I think
Europe
about
is,
it, it's
is
like
a nightmare, bro.
Yeah.
They don't have free speech.
No.
They're like super
Not to the
authoritarian.
extent we do. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it just depends on where in Europe you are, but they're like very, very like, you know what I think it is? I think that's the right assessment. I think what happens is people defer to safety always.
Yeah.
Always, always. So when you get a really, really old civilization, they keep saying it's for your safety over and over again. People just say, okay.
Okay.
And then they get used to it, right? So right now everyone's saying, like, could you imagine if we had to get like some kind of tattoo to track us? Bro, I know it sounds bad, but let me tell you something. 2 generations, nobody would care.
Yep.
You'd be born with a tattoo, and you'd get it updated every couple of years, and people would be like, oh, make sure to scan your barcode when you're, entering the building.
Yep.
Like we have ID cards, passports, social security numbers.
Well,
we
how-
have all of these
How
things.
about like what is the movie Minority Report, where they walk into the subway and they look at the scanner, it's like boop, gets their irises, boop. Welcome, John Anderton.
They figured out a way around that. It's called a cell phone. So basically the way it works now
They
is-
know everything and everywhere you go.
Dude,
Yep.
Facebook knows
It's way
when you
better
poop.
than irises.
Facebook knows when you poop.
Oh yeah.
Facebook.
I'm not even.
I don't have Facebook on my phone.
It doesn't matter.
Well, how did they know then?
Bro.
Facebook's not on my phone. I never got it on
So
my
what?
phone.
Doesn't matter.
How do they have access to my phone?
Does anyone in your family have Facebook?
Probably.
Boom. Done.
How would they know when I poop though?
When you text.
Please give
when
me the
you-
logic.
When you text and communicate with.
I don't communicate with others.
With your family?
No, never.
Yes, you do. So here's how. So
No, I
Facebook
don't.
has a thing called shadow profiles. So you have a Facebook profile.
Okay.
You also have a shadow profile, and Facebook accidentally released this one day, like a
Really?
glitch.
On accident?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
what?
people saw their shadow profiles, and it's got crazy stuff in there. They know Facebook can predict what you will eat.
That sounds like Westworld more. See,
Bro.
now I would be spoiling, so I'm
Bro.
not going to say anything. But man.
This is what people need to realize.
Oh, man.
Let's say you don't have a Facebook account. You do have a Facebook profile. Let's say, no, Tim, I've never signed up for Facebook. You still have a Facebook profile.
Mhm.
It's very simple.
Yeah, profile. Right.
Yeah,
Like
with
they
all your
profiled you.
with all your information, right?
Mm-hmm.
So check this out. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your girlfriend, whatever. They all have you saved in their phones as Adam, son, boyfriend, husband, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they download the Facebook app, which is by default on Android phones and can't be deleted.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So, do you have an Android?
No, I don't.
Oh, you're lucky. You might still have Facebook on it. So what happens is when they open the messenger, it says, would you like to sync your contacts? Facebook gets access to all of the contact list of everyone who knows you.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's what they find out. They know who your mom is. They know who your significant other is, who your best friend is. They can tell based on the frequency of like messages and things like that. Now, if you actually use the apps,
Yeah.
that's when they can really predict your behavior.
I want someone's email at Facebook so I can email them when I'm actually pooping. Be like,
you
hey,
can't-
Facebook, I'm pooping.
Just so you know.
Just so you have it
No,
in
no,
your
no, no.
records.
You don't understand. You're gonna draft the email, and you're gonna be like, I'll show them, and then your phone's gonna go burp, and you go, wait, what? And it's gonna be like, we know, Adam, you don't need to email. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Before I hit send.
Before you hit send. So I was reading this crazy thing that said
Frightening.
basically they know where people will eat and what time they will eat because
funny.
they can start predicting based on when your break time is. So here's what they know.
Whoa.
From the hours of 8:55 until 11:34, your phone doesn't move.
Mm-hmm.
Then it travels 3 blocks, north to a shopping center for, 15 minutes, comes back, and then stops moving again. Guess what? They know it's most likely your lunch break and you went to go eat. So they also know based on the things you say and what time it is, when you're going to go to eat and where you will likely eat. Man, I tell you, there was this test thing that they had a long time ago. I think it was called like the Spark or something. It was a website.
Okay.
And they created these tests where they could predict things about you, where it would be like, we can prove whether or not you're like a man or a woman, or whether you're white or not white. And they would ask you questions that seemingly made no sense. It would be like, which would you prefer? And then it would show you weird shapes. You'd be like, I don't know. And you just click one, right?
Okay.
And then at the end, they would tell you, for some reason, white men click this shape and white women click that shape. We don't know why.
I want to take this test.
Yeah.
It's old. It's from like 90s, man. It's like late 90s,
See
like
Oh.
research
See
stuff.
how I compare.
But there still is a lot of stuff like that, like Jonathan Haidt's research,
Okay.
which does like moral foundations testing and stuff like that. So you can see like where you are politically. Do you believe in liberty and stuff?
Is that the one I did like a couple?
No,
months
that was
ago?
a political compass test.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, the main
Bro.
point is Facebook can predict when you will poop based on when you eat.
Who are
When
they
you
selling that info to?
toilet paper companies? No, for real.
Toilet paper companies.
Baby.
Think about it.
Sure, why
I
not?
think they're doing all right in this pandemic.
Toilet
don't you think?
paper. Listen, toilet paper advertiser says we want to maximize sales.
Yeah.
Facebook says we know when to show your ad for maximum effect. Think about it.
Like
So
on
Facebook-
Instagram, like, oh yeah, here,
Yeah.
you definitely during these times more people poop.
And then
And
you'll
are
get an ad,
scrolling Instagram.
and it'll be like, "Scratchy bum, you need double quilted, bro.
Like,
what are you
oh,
doing?"
wow.
And you're gonna be like, "Dude, I do need it, for real." Dude,
Oh, man.
I have
I'm
bought
laughing, but
I
it's
have bought a
kinda scary.
ton of stuff off of Instagram.
Toilet paper.
Not toilet paper. This lamp,
Yep.
they knew.
that lamp, the alien
Even
lamp.
wasn't the
I just
original one?
pounded.
Wasn't the original one from Instagram too?
This
the
one, no.
Starry Night one? No, the original, the
No.
Starry Night. Oh no, it
No,
wasn't.
no.
Oh,
that
okay,
was
okay.
a friend of mine
Oh, all right.
was like,
Is that
check
over
this
there
out.
somewhere? You got that over
Yeah,
there?
I got it
Lydia?
over here.
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
you can't see it in any of the shots though, unfortunately.
it's little, it's
Yeah,
tiny.
It's tiny.
Teeny
It's
weeny.
hiding.
So think about what all of these other networks know.
Oh, man.
Google probably knows a lot too, and
Yeah.
man, people don't realize like we talk about like we can't let them chip us, or it's like, bro, you bought your chip.
You've been
Yeah.
chipped.
You
Yeah,
begged
what's the
for an
difference?
upgrade. You were like, bro, upgrade my chip, please.
Oh.
You know, it's funny. I was listening to Rogan, and they were talking about this conspiracy theory, and I really do mean it, where people think their phones are listening to them.
They are, aren't they?
No,
Oh, they're not. It's just
well,
algorithms and.
it depends, right? So there's actually some truth to this. Smart devices always have the microphones on
Okay.
because they have voice activation.
Oh, right.
So they are listening to you. But when Facebook delivers an ad to you and you were talking about it, it's not because they were listening to you. It's because they know everything about you and can predict your behavior.
Yeah.
It's worse than you realize.
It's way worse. That
So
is worse.
I remember I went to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
They had a sale on TVs. And we were walking through the aisle, and the TVs were in the middle of the aisle, like
Okay.
on a discount or whatever. And it was a big TV, and I was like, "That's a good idea." It was $300, and I'm like, "It's a widescreen TV." And like, we don't have a TV. Like, the TV broke. I'll grab it. So we call the guy over. He puts it in the cart. When I got home, I went on Facebook, and there was an ad showing what appeared to be that exact same TV on the stand in the middle, and I was like, "What's going on? This is crazy."
Interesting.
But it wasn't because they were listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was because they knew I went to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that I was, a 32-year-old male.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yup.
That's
Yep.
the demographic.
So they predicted I would probably, want this TV.
Mm-hmm.
They were right.
Wow.
You know what the most annoying thing about all that is, though?
No, I don't. Why don't you tell me?
You ever get an advertisement for something you already bought?
Yep.
Like you just explained.
But like even worse, like you go to Amazon and you'll be like, I need some, double quilted TP, bro. And then you buy it. And then all of a sudden you go to a website and you see all these ads for double quilted. You're like, dude, I already ordered it. Why are you advertising this to me?
Okay, something like toilet paper you keep getting.
Yeah, but like okay, forget toilet paper. Let's say you order a fancy new.
I think the TV
Pro,
summed it up right there.
Pro,
Yeah,
pro
seriously.
tech deck.
Oh,
Let's
wait,
say
yeah.
let's say you get the
Look at
fancy
that.
tech deck with the fancy
Oh.
little.
Are those pro? Are
This
they-
is the. I just put the grip tape on a regular one because I don't like. These are the pro ones. These are like we had to build these.
Although you said that they're not that good though.
I don't like it.
Let me see
I
it.
don't. No, not this one specifically. There's better ones.
It's pretty legit though. It's wood.
It is, but the pop is bad.
I mean, I don't know how to even pop these things.
Yeah, nah. They're good fun.
Art.
Cool.
But I ordered some better ones with better grip, with bigger noses and tails. Anyway, the point is, I bought it already. I don't need any more. I've got it. Look, it's a tech deck. Well, it's not tech. It's a fingerboard. Why are they advertising them to me? I go on.
Because you're not happy with those.
You know what's funny? You
Oh,
want
that's
to
fair.
You said it, right? You
I'm
said
gonna-
they don't have enough pop. You want something better? Maybe they know. They know
But they're
you
advertising
so well.
the ones I don't want.
Oh,
Okay,
the
that's
same
funny.
ones?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's the point.
Oh,
I'll let
that's
everybody in
funny.
on a secret. When you're watching my videos, look at the advertisements when I'm reading news stories,
Uh-huh.
and you'll know what we're doing. So there's been a few videos where it's like the ads are for B&H and for camera equipment and tripods.
Okay.
It's because we were setting up the new show.
Ah.
Yep.
Yeah, I
yep,
took
secrets.
a screenshot of one of your videos one time, and I was like, "Look what Tim has for his ads. He has skateboards, he has skate shoes, and he had I forget what else
Yep.
you had, almost like beanies or something." I was
Skate
like,
ramps was on there for a while.
Yup.
We were
That's
doing
right.
segments, and I kept seeing the
Skate
skate
ads.
block that
I
you
know.
ordered, and
Yup.
I'm like, you what? Like
You know what
weird.
I'm
I was
doing.
just skating that earlier.
Right, exactly.
And then if those are listening, if you're watching what the ads are,
Yeah.
you can then like comment, be like, "How's the new skate box, Tim?"
Ah.
Well, I
How's
mean,
the new
is
ramp?
it an ad for something that you already got, or something that you're probably gonna buy?
So there's a company
I don't
called. There's two companies. There's OC Ramps and there's Keen Ramps.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm pretty sure the mini ramp we have is Keen.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's good. It's a good
It's
ramp.
really good.
It's
And so
really
I just
good.
ordered another smaller one for like practice.
Is
like,
it from Keen also?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm
Cool.
pretty sure it is.
I've
and-
seen that little ramp actually. They
Little
did
quarter
they
pipe,
did a
240.
giveaway like a week ago or something.
Pops
2
up on
weeks
Instagram.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
the,
fun.
the lockdown's jamming up delivery, but
Yeah.
when you see the ads, it'll be an ad for the whole company. So you'll see a grind rail.
Oh, okay.
You won't know exactly what it is that I bought.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it's really funny because I was looking at the price of gold and silver once,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden, all the ads were for gold and silver, and I'm like, I wonder if people are going to catch this.
You know,
what I mean?
I've actually thought that multiple times, and not one person has asked us like,
About
"Hey,
ads?
about the ads." It feels like people are. Well, thankfully, they're probably listening to what we're talking about and
Hopefully,
paying
yeah,
attention.
right.
You know, not
No, but I mean, in
analyzing
the
everything.
clips, you might. Well, I think a lot of people are just listening too.
yeah, like while they're doing stuff, that makes
So,
sense.
well, actually, let me ask you guys: good thing or bad thing?
What?
That the
ad thing?
computers know what you want before you even know what you want.
Well, I mean, I don't want to see ads for. I can't
Things
think
you already
of,
bought?
think of random things that I would never buy or never even. I don't know. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It's just a thing. I don't know.
What do you think?
I think it tends to be based on whatever you're looking at. It could be good or bad. I don't know.
Same-
If you're
so
buying
you
bad
agree.
works,
No, no,
then
you agree
it's
with me.
stuff.
It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's kind of neutral.
My question is, if you were sitting here one day and then an ad popped up for like this UFO thing, and you were like, "I want that," would you be happy? And then you bought it. Like I bought that. I saw an ad on Instagram, and I was like, "I would like to buy that."
Full disclosure, I do that all the time.
So it's a good thing.
Yeah, works for me.
I
It's
don't
a-
know.
it's-
Every single time anyone has ever, I've never bought anything off of Instagram. In fact, when Facebook first bought Instagram, the ads were just insane, and I would report every single ad
For being trash.
to the point of I would go on Instagram to block ads, and I was like, "What am I even doing on Instagram?" And I like kind of stopped Instagramming for a while. But now it's to the point where anyone's like, "Oh yeah, I got this thing on Instagram," and all I can think is just there's a little like giggle, like sucker.
Right.
Because half the stuff is made in China, half of it's POSs. I mean, actually, way more than half. There's a lot of it that I'm just like, that's just gonna be trash one day.
I bet this is made in China.
I mean, sure, that UFO has. We've had a lot of fun on the show with the UFO. When
That
it
is
stops
true.
spinning, everyone starts like, spin the UFO. It's
Oh,
been
yeah.
great.
Yeah,
It's
we
part.
need to
It's
do
part
that.
of the show. So for us, it does make sense. There you go. Spin that UFO.
There we go.
Spin, 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 spin.
Yay!
See, there it is. Wow, it is really spinning now. So
This
yeah,
is
it's
flying
fun.
into
orbit.
But I still, when you first told me where you got it, I called you a sucker in my head.
for buying from Instagram.
Yep.
I don't
was
care.
Sucker.
It's
Well,
awesome,
look what
dude.
the cool thing we got.
Dude, it's
I don't know.
levitating.
It's amazing.
Oh, sure.
Floating.
Yeah, sure, it's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool.
It's like,
cool, dude.
it's like anti-gravity, man.
Great.
It's very
Yeah.
cool.
It's a bad
Come
thing when they're
on.
advertising things you already bought. That's stupid. But think
Yeah.
about this. Like, okay, so we often project our current technological states to the future.
Yeah, okay.
So instead of thinking about, well, we can't predict for the most part. So we take things we already have and we exaggerate them, right? So a good example is Back to the Future.
Right.
He goes to the future. It's 2015.
Yeah.
And his shoes tied themselves.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, like clothes shrank. It's like, it's an exaggeration of what already existed. There's a really funny graphic that I remember seeing once where it was like in the year 1900 what they thought the year 2000 would be like.
Okay.
And it was firefighters with mechanical wings flying. Like, because
Awesome.
it was a technology they had, but they were like, what if it was better?
Yeah.
So we can't make that same mistake. So, I'm thinking about what's the logical conclusion of these weird AI advertisement stuff? And the assumption is we live in a world where before you even think you want it, it's delivered to you. Like you're sitting there and you're like, man, I'm hungry. Like before you even say you want it, it's like eggs, just like, a robot comes in and drops eggs,
Right. It's
fried
been like
eggs.
a certain amount of time, so you're probably going to be hungry.
no plate, just
Just
drop
eggs.
it right on the table.
No.
Throw it in my
Served
mouth.
up right for you. It's
Just
like
kidding.
your chair brings you to the bathroom before you even know you have to go, and you're like, I don't have to. Oh.
Oh, I do.
Oh, hey, look, the turtle's poking
Yep.
his head out.
And then eventually we're just like we don't move. We're sitting in chairs.
Like in
And
Wall-E.
we're
Yep,
like,
Wall-E World.
exactly.
Oh, it's such
Scary.
a great movie.
But I don't think so. I don't think so because that's projecting, right?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if you saw the story. There was some crazy story about how we've discovered a way to reverse aging by like 54% or something.
Really?
What?
Yeah, it was
54%.
they did some kind of plasma transfusion between mice and found like ridiculous aging reversal.
Whoa.
So it's not peer reviewed yet, and it's but
So this is
peop-
new.
yeah, it's new, and they're
Okay.
saying that they think it's like I was reading some report from this guy on Twitter, some PhD guy, and he's like, this looks legit. It's the goal now is to figure out what in young plasma is causing cellular repair.
Yeah.
And then you get a pill,
Oh,
you
man.
get an injection, and then you'd basically be like 28 forever.
That sounds good.
So that's I bring that up.
And also frightening.
Maybe a little, yeah.
Yeah,
I can see
dude.
that.
Watching Altered Carbon.
Yeah, man.
Nah, I'm not.
The rich just
Well-
keep getting richer and stay the same age. Nah.
The question I guess is,
Scary, dude.
I was watching this thing about immortality,
Okay.
and they said the only reason we actually think immortality is a bad thing is because we age. And so somebody who's 60 or 70 who has chronic health problems is
Yeah.
like, immortality sucks.
Right.
Because we know that's in our future, most of us would say the same thing.
All right.
But there was the
But if we
argument,
could stay at our peak
if you could stay
forever.
28 years old,
Yeah.
then most people would prefer to stay 28 forever.
Okay.
Even if it meant like at 100 you would die, but if you were immortal, it's like being young forever. You're healthy, you're fine, you just want to keep living. I think it's a bad thing though, at least for now. But
Yeah, there's too much greed in the world.
it's not about the greed, it's about human development. Like,
Okay.
when
What is stopping that from being what you would want it to be? Greed.
you know what, man? It's a sad reality, but people die, and it's a good thing.
That's true.
In terms of like we pass on our knowledge and our secrets to our youth, who then get a new chance at experiencing the world and developing things and shaping things the way the way they see it, and we pass on. So it's like we get our time here to learn, develop, grow, make the changes we think, and then we pass that information down, and that causes evolution and development, and
Yeah, we
There-
need boundaries.
think about it this way. Imagine if a scientist from, who was born in the 1700s was alive today.
Okay.
He'd probably accept a bunch of things as true, but he'd have so many ingrained falsehoods. So it's like, I was reading about the discovery of I think it was special relativity or maybe the Big Bang.
Okay.
And there's always a group of scientists that reject the newer theories and really, really put scrutinize it. I was talking to this physicist guy about M theory, which is like, it's like I'm not super familiar with it. It's about a unified theory, I guess, like a theory of the universe, theory of everything.
Okay.
And there's this guy named, I think his name is Garrett Lisi, who has the extremely simple theory of everything. This is all really old stuff, so it's probably changed a whole lot. But I was talking to this physicist who said there's a problem in physics in that these scientists have dedicated their whole lives to this theory, so that if it turns out it's wrong, their whole life, their work, their legacy is wrong.
Wow.
Or they spent their entire life to figure out that it was wrong.
But they don't see it that way. Think about
They don't see it that way.
think,
Okay.
think about it this way, like you spend 10 years building this very beautiful like model house, and then all of a sudden one day it falls apart. You didn't spend 10 years to figure out that the final touch would collapse. You were trying to build this beautiful house, and now you're like, everything I've built has been for nothing.
Okay.
So they reject it. It's not even about whether or not they could accept they were wrong and be like, I've successfully proven it false. Some people do.
Yeah.
It's about them resisting and being like, I don't believe that. I don't believe. No.
Well,
no,
that's
that can't make
them
sense.
losing the science part of it, and it becoming like an emotional investment,
Right.
Like part of their fundamentals, and it's like when you start off as a scientist, science, it's all about changing and learning and testing and figuring out what works.
Yeah.
So if you can't see that it works and it takes you 30 years to figure out that it doesn't work, then you're the scientist that did it. And if that's not what you're focused on, then it's a fundamental issue with the human that is the scientist. You know what I mean?
It's a human problem.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, somebody develops a theory,
Mm-hmm.
then, they retire, they die, they've had their time on Earth, and then the younger person who is less invested says, hey, wait a minute. this right here disproves that. Whoa. And now they develop, and then less attachments. So I'd imagine if humans were immortal and never and didn't die, then there would be cultural artifacts that would persist that are like detrimental, that make no sense, that maybe made sense at a certain point, don't make sense now.
I think this virus is like kind of shining a light on how vulnerable we actually really are. Because imagine if all the drugs in the world, and I mean drugs like vaccines and everything we have to fight any ailment that the human body goes through, like what if it all went away? How many people would actually die then? How many of us are actually strong enough to survive at that point? Because we're keeping humans alive for so long now, right? I mean,
that's a tough question, man.
It's kind of crazy, are we getting stronger or are we getting weaker? We're kind of fending off like death, like with our man-made stuff. Right?
That's some dangerous thinking there, Adam. That's to stick to your work and keep your mouth shut.
But that's what this is making me think of. Like, you were talking about us getting stronger and like passing on our stuff, but we're not passing on our immunities. We're passing on the drug that just kills the virus that would have killed us, that we don't have immunity to anymore.
We've got a serious conundrum in our in civilization.
Yeah.
And that's there's Do you know what Fermi's paradox is?
I feel like we've talked about it a couple times, probably.
So,
which one of the paradoxes is it?
Well, it's the question of, if the universe is so big, why haven't we discovered alien life?
Oh, right.
I'm simplifying it, but one of them I think is that,
or that there's definitely life out there. That's what it's basically
the
saying
paradox
too, right?
is, if it's in all likelihood there is,
right?
So why haven't we found them?
Okay.
And there's a bunch of proposed answers. I think one of them is very simple. We evolve in a way to survive. But once we've conquered our survival, then these things actually become extremely detrimental. When you have 10 people living in the wilderness together, doing everything in our power to save someone's life is crucial to the success of the tribe. When you have 7.6 billion people doing everything to ensure that literally everyone survives, becomes eventually detrimental in certain ways.
Yeah.
So we see the persistence of genetic diseases that... we've basically separated ourselves from this. Now, we're smart enough to actually get rid of some of these diseases and start improving us. So I don't know if it's necessarily like pro or con in many aspects. But I think it is true that we're at a weird point where it is an ethical, moral conundrum when you have people who provide nothing to the greater society in terms of survivability, actually become net detriments to it.
And in a lot of cases, they have no choice. They're not, the people. Not everyone has even the chance or ever will have the chance to help society further itself, because society
it's not even about
insane.
that. Like,
it's huge.
Are you alive? You know what I mean? Like, so it's a conundrum of, if we were a tribe of 30 people, and there was someone who was like a vegetable, people would,
like in a coma,
like,
you mean?
Totally brain dead.
Okay.
Yeah. What are they going to do? I don't know, because there could be historical.
If we were a tribe in the middle of the woods, they would probably die.
You can't feed them.
Right, they would die.
So we've invented technology to provide nutrients to sustain someone who's literally just consuming resources and energy, because we have a moral obligation to protect life.
Right.
That's a challenge.
Interesting.
It is, because I certainly think we should save the lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The money.
It's not about the money. I mean,
who's we?
Yeah.
You say we got the money. It's like, but then that hospital that say it costs $50,000 to keep someone on a respirator and being fed with catheter system. Go ahead. You definitely want to say something right now. Go.
What better use of public funds as moral people do we have than taking care of people who can't take care of themselves through no fault of their own?
I know, it's so easy to say that,
right.
But that is not the way it is.
Yeah, I know. It's in a perfect world.
Right? We spend more money figuring out ways to kill people.
Don't get me started.
What happens when the xenotaxons come from the Galactic Federation and start firebombing our oil fields? And now we're like, we need hospital beds for the wounded. What do?
You got triage.
Do we kick those people out of the hospitals?
You would have to.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
So it's like, right now,
at peace,
we have a moral obligation to save all life. So there are some people who have never had a thought in their lives.
Yep.
It's true. And I know some people who have family members who were born with severe mental disabilities.
Yeah.
don't speak, are considered to be on the like essentially comatose or like severely developmentally disabled.
Yep.
And they're legally obligated and morally obligated to do everything they can to keep, to save this life. And I agree.
Right.
But I also recognize the potential philosophical conundrum. I guess when it comes to a real conflict,
Yeah.
we're not going to provide resources for these people.
We're already there, aren't we? Didn't we have like the do not resuscitate orders? The doctors that were like, that person's dead, this person's more important.
Yeah.
Save them instead of them.
Well, that's
that happened
triaging.
in Italy.
Yeah.
That happened here.
Yeah.
Right, but it's already happened.
Yeah.
So we're already past that point.
And the craziest thing about it is that most of our hospitals weren't overrun.
Right. That's
It
what
was
I'm hearing.
key hospitals that were overrun.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so that resulted in them
huge
being
cities.
like, this hospital, we can't do it. So you die.
That
Right.
stinks.
Yeah, what do you do, man? What do you do?
I don't know. I'm glad I was not a doctor in that situation. I had to make that choice.
When you go too far to the extremes, you end up with no good answer, right?
Yep.
You go full fascist and they're like, unplug them. And you go too far left and they're like, don't unplug them and don't provide resources to those who truly need it.
Right.
It's like it's like logic versus emotion, I guess.
Yep.
And man, it's tough. If you lose your emotion, you become a robot. Nobody wants to be the Borg.
Right.
But if you lose your logic, you become just like, you collapse. You can't function properly. Right. Exactly. Right.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
exactly.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh man.
So I guess the somehow we got into this conversation talking about immortality.
Yeah. How do we get here?
Because I was talking about like scientific development or something.
Right.
And we're talking about immortality.
That was
Yeah.
great. That's fun. I like that.
That's
Yeah.
fun. That was great. It was deep questions. We were
Yeah.
just hitting them up though. That's nice.
Yeah.
So here's my
fun.
question, Hannah.
Yeah.
Would you take immortality? If
Ooh.
the vampire Lestat walked in right now, and
That
it
was
was literally Tom Cruise. and he-
Absolutely. No hesitation. That was a
Yeah,
great
man.
book, by the way.
the book?
Yeah.
I've seen the movie.
Lestat, the book Lestat.
Oh, Lestat.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah. It was,
But would you
also a good book.
vampire thing aside, that's silly, but yeah, would you take immortality?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I would want to say yes because I would love to, see the civilization in the future where we colonize this whole solar system, travel around, go to the different planets, see it all, and that I think about Star Trek was one of my favorite shows. When you ask me if I would want to be immortal, the first thing I'd think of is, oh man, I could travel the stars then. I can actually travel the universe and not have to worry about dying.
But are we talking about biological immortality where you just don't age?
Right.
Or like you are Wolverine, invincible, regenerating and you literally can't die?
I'll take that. Yeah.
That sounds good too.
What happens
Yeah.
with the heat death of the universe, man?
Then-
Life won't last forever. You'll be just floating around in all pure blackness.
didn't Wolverine die?
Well, but I'm talking
Eventually,
about.
spoiler, I guess.
If you
from
could-
Logan, didn't he though?
But
I don't
that's-
actually remember. Did he or not?
I'm using him as just like an example. What I mean is,
I will become immortal if I have the choice to kill myself eventually.
that's what I was gonna say.
Boom.
I'd say
Okay.
yes.
How about now?
Because then I'd be
natural.
like, 100 years from now, I'd be like, that was fun, seppuku.
Oh, what a way to go! It's like Korean.
It's like actually you have
Part
to
Japanese.
you have to
Yeah.
slice off your left ankle.
What?
I don't think I
don't
could
know.
do
Like
that.
the one weakness is your Achilles heel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's time to go. Let me get a.
Yep,
jump
that's
over.
it.
Just
Sounds
flick
good.
it. Well, you couldn't
But
be a
you know-
skateboarder.
But hold on, man.
My ankles are screaming.
You're very idealistic because
Maybe I am.
what if the future isn't we explore the stars? It's a bunch of SJWs start locking people in gulags.
Okay.
Yep.
And
What
then-
was it? Harry Carey?
What, Harry Carey?
Isn't that another term for it?
Harry Carey?
Carrie. I'm
Harry
not
Carey
sure.
is the guy from the Cubs?
No,
yeah.
no.
No, it
That's a
sounds
thing.
it sounds the same. Yeah.
I don't know. Seppuku? Harry Carey?
Seppuku.
Harry Carey was
Yeah,
the guy
that's
who
right.
talked like this and
Yeah.
was like a Cubs announcer.
Okay.
or whatever.
Also what was
It's
that?
seppuku. It is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a similar like suicidal
Harry
thing.
Carey?
Yeah, it's spelled HARIKARI.
Oh, Hari
Yeah.
Kari.
Harikari.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You're from Chicago, so of course that's where your head goes.
He said Harry Carey.
I know, but funny thing is, I'm from Chicago too. So whenever
the
I say
heck?
it, I think of him doing it to himself.
Oh my gosh.
That's brutal.
I know.
This makes
Him
perfect
doing
sense.
it
Yeah,
to
but
himself.
I loved him, man. He was hilarious. I went and saw him a bunch of. He's the announcer for the Cubs at
Was.
Wrigley Field. Well, he was
Rest his soul.
for many years in Wrigley Field in Chicago. So us growing up in Chicago, like we think Harry Carey, and it's just like, well, I'm Harry Carey. He spoke like this. He's a funny guy.
You know what, man?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you another question.
Oh, please.
What
I
if,
love these
what
deep
if,
questions.
What
Go.
if they couldn't preserve your body, but they could preserve your consciousness digitally?
In a stack.
No, like in a virtual, like when you're.
Yeah, basically like in a
Have-
stack
have-
and altered carbon.
But
Yeah.
no, Black Mirror.
Oh, okay.
Is that-
I don't know what.
It's when they when they go to retire.
Okay.
They're like 80.
All
They
right.
they download their
Yeah.
brains into a server where all of a sudden they're in their 20s and they're in digital retirement
Oh
facilities.
yeah, I did see that episode.
And now you're young and you're partying and you're like
doing whatever you want forever.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds good. I don't know. I mean, do I have any say, or can anyone have any say on the outside world, or once you're in there, you're like cut off?
I guess one. Well, no,
Because
yeah.
that's a big difference.
Like
I
you
don't
can
know.
still communicate with people because they come visit you. They can come in, hang out on the server.
Interesting. This is our
Yeah.
Futurama episode. I'm surprised you didn't go Futurama with that.
No, the Futurama one I think is they're like just comatose or something. They're like in a library of retirement where they're like plugged in. No, I think that's what it is. I think they're in a
you're right.
virtual world.
Yeah, it is a virtual
Yeah,
world.
but the Black Mirror one was that's
more
a show,
spot
right?
on. Yeah.
Yeah, San
Yeah, yeah.
Juniperino
No, I got
or
Yeah,
it.
whatever.
because Juniper.
Yeah, San Juniper or something.
Yeah, something like
the
that.
Island.
Right.
Yeah, they're like
right.
partying and stuff, and they're
Yeah.
like young forever.
Hmm.
I think it'd be weird because you'd have like one server that's people born in the 1920s,
Yeah.
and there's like all super racist and like very like traditional,
Okay.
and so then you wouldn't mix the people who were born in the 70s who are all like Gen X.
Hippies.
Yeah. Okay.
No, born in the 70s
Born
are
in
not
the 70s.
hippies.
Yeah. Children of hippies.
Gen
my
Xers.
baby.
Whoa. I know a lot of my. I have a lot of older cousins that were born in the 70s. They were definitely hippies.
Oh, were
Well,
they?
no, you-
Okay,
yes,
well, you can
definitely.
You
No,
can be whenever you
What I'm
want.
saying is
Well, their parents were hippies too, so it kind of they just
rubbed
passed them
boomers
on.
were
Makes
hippies.
sense.
Okay.
The people
Yeah.
born in the 50s who were late teenagers in the 70s
Yeah, okay.
were hippies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense.
I read something crazy. I read that Woodstock, there was a pandemic during Woodstock.
Was
What,
it really?
Yeah, flu
Was it, like,
pandemic.
STDs
Oh, wow.
Or?
Yeah, and they're like, nobody cared. They like, it's because it only affected older people.
Right.
And so the question was then, it's like, I think this was like some economic council. They were like, if that's the case, man, I don't think they made this argument, but it's kind of like we prioritize safety.
Isn't that kind of what we're finding out about COVID? It's killing all these older folk that were already at risk. If they would have gotten the
Yeah.
flu, they probably would have died also.
People with no vitamin D,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, get outside, get
That's
some
right.
sunshine
Yeah.
more often.
but they're telling you to stay inside.
And now there's this whole thing about like there's this new
Yeah.
thing that's going around.
Inflammatory syndrome.
It sounds like a scare tactic, honestly.
It does, man.
It sounds like they're trying to
Because
scare
look
people
at
to continue on.
look at South
listening
Dakota.
To them. Yeah,
South
nothing happened, right?
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, South Dakota never locked down, and the media attacked them relentlessly, and then they still refused. And now it's 3 weeks on from when they were being attacked. The media was like, South Dakota, the new hot spot. 3 weeks later, nothing.
And of course, they're not talking about it.
Right, they don't talk
Yep.
about that part.
It's like, no, don't talk about it.
Meanwhile, Los Angeles is like, we must lock down indefinitely until there's a cure
for
a
this
virus.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And no wonder that the Republican just won in California, didn't they? Or something?
This
I don't know
is-
exactly
Yeah.
what went down, but
25th district.
oh yeah.
This is a good opportunity
Yes.
to talk about the next segment.
Let's do it.
This.
All right.
YouTube CEO. Users don't like authoritative mainstream media, but we boost them anyway. All right. The first thing you have to do if you're
I
listening
have
to
to
this,
laugh. I have to.
like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell, and then share this
Before
please.
they shut us down.
because no, it's gonna get good. I got some. I'm gonna drag some of these lefty journalists who are angry that people can share YouTube links.
It's amazing.
I
Why
kid
would they
you
be
not.
mad though?
Because they can't control the narrative.
Yeah, dude.
Oh right. Okay.
This
yeah.
is nuts. Check it out.
Yeah.
We know this. We know that nobody likes these videos. Listen, look up CNN or any one of these, CBS or Fox or whatever. Their videos are boring. Nobody wants to watch them. They all have thumbs down, and they get like 10,000 views, if that. And then you go to like my channel, it's like my videos got like 300, 400,000 views. And I'm like, people are choosing my content when presented. They're not choosing CBS, ABC, NBC, etc. But because YouTube is propping these channels up, they're getting hundreds of millions of views. You know how much money that is?
No.
Bonkers.
Lots of money.
Lots and lots of money. Let me think real quick. Let's see. I think CNN is probably getting $1 million a month low estimate.
From YouTube alone.
Because and that's off taking clips from their shows and just uploading without question, without even trying to engage with YouTube, and because YouTube is putting them up. Think about how much money YouTube would actually make if they chose to show real independent creators that actually get the engagement. They don't care though, because they're scared of these media outlets. They're scared of people at BuzzFeed, and yes, I'll give Ryan Broderick the credit. They're scared of people like Ryan Broderick. This dude who, I'm not sure if I've ever met him, but he really has this thing for no matter what happens, he's got to call it a problem.
Okay.
Check this out. You may have seen Plandemic. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan because I think it's an interview with one person who may or may not be correct. I understand she's a doctor, so I can only defer to the experts. But there's a lot of things they could have done better, and hey, it is what it is. But YouTube shouldn't have removed it because they took away any opportunity for debate and challenging of the idea. It's the stupidest thing they could have done.
Yep.
Check this out. Let me show you the Casey Newton tweet first. He says, I wrote about how Plandemic went viral. Facebook groups linking to YouTube, driving tremendous attention in a short amount of time. And
okay,
that's just literally the internet.
Yeah.
Like, what's the issue?
That sounds like
well,
a thing.
check it out.
Welcome to the internet.
Ryan says, YouTube knows this is a problem. In April, I reached out about the absurd traffic that YouTube videos were getting on Facebook, particularly in groups. They told me, the video is not recommended by our systems. The majority of the traffic and views come from external sites. A problem?
Wow.
What problem? That someone can share a link? Last year, YouTube changed the algorithm to strike down channels like mine. It used to be that if you watched one of my videos, the autoplay recommendation would show you more of my videos. Mm-hmm. So all of these, I'll do air quotes, I'll just call them activists, got angry. Oh no, we're so angry because people with opinions we don't like are getting traffic, and we work for BuzzFeed. So YouTube changes the algorithm.
Okay.
Here's what I did. I started saying at the beginning of all my videos, if you want to support my work, the best thing you can do is share this video, because the YouTube algorithm is weighted against me, but there's nothing more powerful than a direct share.
We can go ahead and take this time to say, go ahead and share this video.
Share this video.
Tell
and
everyone
how awesome we are.
Word of mouth, baby.
Please continue, Tim.
But in all seriousness, look at what he's saying. This is a guy from BuzzFeed. He writes these hit pieces. He's been wrong on several occasions, and he's literally angry right now that people on Facebook have shared links. What's the alternative? Let's say YouTube says, okay, we've decided we're going to outright ban everybody. What? So that YouTube just becomes Netflix? So the only people who can post is Netflix? Think about what he's saying right here. YouTube knows this is a problem. What? That users can upload videos and share the link? What does YouTube...
Isn't that what YouTube's for?
It's literally,
it's literally what it's for.
Supposed to be.
Oh, man.
But here, it's unsurprising that this is what, BuzzFeed focuses on. He goes on to say, since the pandemic started, I've written several stories focusing on the explosion of Facebook users sharing YouTube links. What?
Excuse me?
This is literally how it used to be. When YouTube first started, people would go on Facebook and they would share links. Facebook got mad because it was driving traffic off of their site. So Facebook started reducing the amount that YouTube links would appear.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
It's countered now because people make groups. And so when you're in a group, the post appears to the people in the group. He's mad. He's mad about it.
Haha.
Short thread. YouTube's attempts to clean up their platform have not stopped, and may even and may even be exacerbating the Facebook sharing. The search results for COVID content are cleaned up, but on Facebook things are complete free for all. And
we can't control it.
What do we do?
We're losing our power.
People on the internet are talking. Oh no.
This is somewhat Sisyphean. Holy cow.
This is amazing. This second, largely unmoderated YouTube via Facebook is especially bad in India, where some of the most watched COVID-19 videos in the world are in Hindi and full of misinformation. I don't disagree that disinformation is bad.
Right.
It's a very big problem. But guess what? Let me ask you, what do you do if, like, Billy Bob walks down to the local watering hole and says, hey man, I heard that this thing was orchestrated. And the other guy goes, wow. Are you going to show up and be like, stop talking? Are you going to write a newspaper article? Dangerous things are happening where people are talking.
Apparently you are.
Whispers.
Yeah.
Sharing thoughts and ideas. Oh no.
I see someone at BuzzFeed saying it's full of misinformation, and then I know what I know because I've been in this world now, seeing the mainstream media spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on Twitter now, and I follow people on both sides of the spectrum as far as, like, political. And it's like both sides are just spouting misinformation that just proves their own points. You know, and this happens
But
pretty
one
much
side
everywhere
tends
I go.
to be correct.
Yeah, and it switches, but
It doesn't switch.
yeah, you're right.
It doesn't.
It's mostly on the right. Yeah.
It's like this.
Well, I mean, there are some environmental things that people on the left are saying that is from truth.
But that's
Yeah.
but that's
You know?
that's not an issue of reality. That's
So
an issue of opinion.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Those kind of things.
So you can say something like, "I do not like Donald Trump removing environmental protections,"
Right. That was one of my things.
and then a conservative will say, "I do like it. It's good for business," and you'll say, "I don't think so. I think it's bad for everybody." Blah blah blah. It's an argument. That's fine.
Right. Okay.
But 3, 4, 5 years of Russia,
Yeah.
Jussie Smollett, Covington, these
Yeah,
are
that whole
really
thing.
high-profile examples of how
Yeah.
the media just gets everything wrong.
No, I 100% agree that it's mostly a one-sided thing right
So,
now.
so the easiest way to explain it is, you do have fake news on the right, the 5G conspiracy stuff. It's
Yeah.
like it's not fair to call that right wing. To be
Yeah, I
honest,
was gonna say, isn't that just like random nuts
Yeah.
everywhere?
right? Because
It
you
could
know,
be anyone.
Karen
Bipartisan.
Karen on Facebook.
Partisan.
Yeah, it really is.
5G. Yeah.
Karen on Facebook saying something like, you know, the towers are coming for us is
Yeah.
not it's nothing to do with the right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or left. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and there are a lot of left wing crazy conspiracy theories. And recently, Chris Hayes of MSNBC in an interview said they're out of their gourds. Right.
Yeah.
So conspiracies happen, but I'll tell you what, I can't give you the exact number, but it's something like this: 6 out of 10 stories that come from the right are correct. 4 out of 10 stories that come from the left are correct.
Okay.
And so if you're on the left, you have a tendency to be wrong. If you're on the right, you have a tendency to be right.
Okay.
But I'm not saying political right or left. I'm saying culture war, right and left. And that's because a lot of moderate and independents are now somehow aligned with the right simply because there's issues of freedom and free speech and free thought.
Yeah.
You look at like Ben Shapiro, who's like, the joke about Ben Shapiro is debate me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he wants to have the ideas challenged. He wants it down.
Yeah.
And the left is shut them down, cancel their show, cancel
Yeah.
their speech.
Yeah, we don't want to debate. We don't want to get in an opportunity where you can just prove us wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that creates
It's
this kind
embarrassing.
of dynamic. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now with BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
Here, let's read a little bit more. He says, increasing Facebook traffic for YouTube videos has also mirrored the rise in conspiracy theories. The 5G truther Facebook groups are full of YouTube links that they share with each other because the videos look more legitimate than native Facebook content. That's definitely true about whether it looks good or not. Facebook content is garbage.
Yeah.
And the video that I got YouTube to comment on was the one that claimed Dr. Fauci is a member of the deep state. The video was viewed over 6 million times. Its biggest referrals were a QAnon Facebook group, a Christian mommy bloggers page, and a chiropractor.
Random.
The deep state is a specific colloquial reference to to members of what they call the permanent government. And this is actually what someone in the intelligence community called it. These are people who are holdovers, right?
Yeah.
So George W. Bush will be like, I'm going to appoint this guy to the FBI. And then Obama comes in and the guy stays.
Yeah.
And then Trump comes in and the guy stays. That's what people refer to as deep state. People who have been in government and aren't elected, were appointed and just stay.
Oh, aren't elected.
Right.
Okay.
So if someone said Dr. Fauci is a member of the deep state, I'm like, that's just a colloquial way to explain that Dr. Fauci has been in government in this position for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he wasn't elected, he wasn't changed, and that's a big aspect of our government.
Yeah, it's not sinister.
Yeah, right. But, you know, look, because conspiracy theorists might use similar terminology, it's like, oh, what do we do?
Yeah.
YouTube knows Facebook users are sharing YouTube videos at a higher rate. And you can see the traffic increase on social metrics sites like BuzzSumo and CrowdTangle, which means Facebook knows this too. But each platform is expecting the other one to moderate this. It's a mess. What do you want to happen on the internet with the internet? I don't get it.
Yeah, what is he expecting?
I don't know.
We
It's
must
so
shut.
silly sounding.
Facebook is like, it's a YouTube link. What do we so Facebook already censors a lot of content.
Yeah.
YouTube already took down tons of these videos. You know what's going to happen? Someone's going to post it to LiveLeak or BitChute, and then they'll post it to Facebook.
Yep.
You can't stop this. It's a core function of what the internet is.
Yeah. Hey,
Ew.
sorry, we're connected in the internet.
Links
you can't
exist.
stop us. We're
Yeah.
gonna stay connected now.
Imagine-
Like, when
Yeah.
are they gonna get that? It feels like they want to go back to like the 90s.
Kind of.
You know, when people were just like, "Oh, what's the internet? Dial-up? What's that?"
Yeah.
But I
I'm gonna
think,
go read the newspaper.
I think it's more in line with Trump derangement syndrome.
Okay.
Like, so outside of what Trump derangement syndrome is, focused on Trump, there's
Yeah.
the general effect. So people who, no matter what it is, it's always wrong, it's always bad, it must be stopped. So at first they're like, Alex Jones is on YouTube and he's saying things we disagree with. So then YouTube gets rid of him.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we still have to be mad about something. So people are sharing links on Facebook.
That's crazy.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. Someone shared a link. BuzzFeed, how do you think you make money?
What a good question, Tim.
People take the links. This is
Well,
why
they don't make money from me, that's for sure.
Right,
I don't go to BuzzFeed.
Yeah, you don't
websites
need
like BuzzFeed, like Vox, like Mike.com, which is like mostly defunct, got started by manipulating Facebook's algorithm.
Okay.
Because people would share the stories. So there's, we've talked about this before. Some of these sites used to be like right-wing libertarian, because police brutality videos were very, very popular for a long time.
Yeah.
So the approach was, if you were all about liberty, you could play to the left and the right.
Okay.
Because most Americans detest racism, so it wasn't a left or right issue. So all of these sites first started out kind of like on a libertarian bent. But then they started figuring out that it's older women who share the most. So their content slowly started skewing towards moms.
Do you want me to say it?
What?
Karens?
Yes.
Karens.
Yes.
You were
100%.
thinking it.
I was thinking
Two
it
Karens.
Too. Yeah, for sure.
That's absolutely it.
Yep.
And so then more shares, more money. So they started hiring people to write these things. And thus we got the wave of critical race theory, social justice stuff, because Facebook was being exploited. Here's the funny thing. Did I complain about people's ability to share links? I think it's a serious problem that Facebook drove this. He is. It's like, imagine a zombie complaining about zombies. Like,
you have complained about YouTube quite often on our show.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's not what I'm talking
for
about.
right reasons.
I've defended YouTube against the lies that YouTube radicalizes people. It's not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've complained about YouTube censoring in favor of these people.
Yeah.
These zombies.
Well, and pushing CNN and
Exactly.
squashing you down.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not saying you're not justified.
I'm not talking about them complaining about their problem. I'm talking about they were propped up and now they're mad other people are taking advantage of the same system.
Oh, BuzzFeed was propped up for a while?
Yes, they
But they're not
they
anymore.
manipulated the Facebook algorithm.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I should say sites like BuzzFeed, Huffington
Okay.
Post.
Okay.
This is what they were doing. He's mad, or I should say he's the remnant of, oh no, we're being displaced. The system we were exploiting is taking away from us.
Right. That's
Okay.
what this sounds like.
Now,
Wah.
you could argue there's some overlap between my complaints with YouTube propping up mainstream media, but it's kind of an inversion.
Right. Okay.
CNN doesn't produce content that people actually want to see and engage with, and they actually produce lies.
Yeah.
So he's
They
arguing that
definitely
people
do.
are producing fake news. It's like, bro, this guy's written several fake stories and got called out for it.
This guy.
Yeah, this guy specifically. I've done a
he's
video about it.
crying. It just sounds like he's just crying.
He's yelling
and
at
whining
crowds.
about it.
So it's like this whole zombie system they function on was pushing shock content that was outrage and generate shares. I've explained this before. YouTube doesn't generate shares the way Facebook does. On Facebook, when a link pops up and it says, dog does backflip,
yeah.
people click share. And all of a sudden, that pops up in the feeds of all their friends. YouTube doesn't have that function. If you click, so you can like a video, and then if people go to your YouTube page, they
Your
might see
liked
it.
pages,
But nobody
right.
does that.
Yeah, no one does that.
So
Maybe, I don't know. Some people might do it. But.
Facebook, so I'll clarify. There is a slight possibility of radicalization through YouTube, but I would argue that it's relatively negligible.
Okay.
More so than without YouTube, but not noticeable because there have been several studies showing that on YouTube you have to choose what you watch.
Yeah.
Facebook is different. Facebook, you get like 3 posts you can see on your monitor.
Right.
And so when people go on and they see a video of a cop beating somebody, they click share, all of a sudden everyone just sees it, whether they've chosen it or not. So that allows this radicalization to propagate extremely rapidly. Then these companies that have made money off exploiting the system get scared that people like me on YouTube call them out. So they accuse us of what they do.
Yeah.
It's projection. And it's, what the problem is? When you get people like me that are willing to be honest about it and not lie and cheat, we're at a severe disadvantage. Because BuzzFeed lies all the time. They make up fake news. But because they have venture capital and institutional power, they can write fake news about me. And then all of a sudden I get all of these. They circle the wagons around each other. They defend their venture capital interests.
Yep.
None of these people want to lose money. So we're the bigger threat because we're independent individuals
Taking their views away.
going up against the machine.
Yep.
So the machine will protect itself. and they do it to everybody. And the funniest example, I guess, is the president of the United States. Someone who is
true.
One of the most powerful people in the world.
Yep.
But they do it to him too, because it's the same thing. He wasn't supposed to be, president. He's basically taken the power, so they're panicking and trying to stop him and crush him in any way possible. They are circling the wagons.
Yep.
That's the name of the game, man.
Wow.
You know what's really funny about BuzzFeed? Ben Smith was...
I don't care.
Well, the editor-in-chief...
Tell me
Hold on,
anyway.
that's good.
The editor-in-chief of BuzzFeed News,
Uh-huh.
and BuzzFeed was pumping out all this crazy crap, and I'm like, man, because I've known Ben for a little while. It's not like I've known him very well, and I'm like, why is this happening? Like, I thought Ben was better than this.
Yeah.
Ben quits. He goes to the New York Times, and now he's writing some of the best stuff ever,
That's good.
calling
Right.
out Joe
On it.
Biden. Yeah,
He
yeah.
he couldn't stand what's going on to
Maybe,
BuzzFeed.
Yeah, man.
maybe.
Clearly.
He's pulling a Tim Pool.
He had a mandate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now he's at the New York Times.
That's I mean, you gotta stand
Yeah, but you're your
somewhere.
own boss. It's,
Yeah.
you still left what
right,
you
right,
were.
right. But he's not. Like you'd think even the New York Times would be more compromised, but he's got presumably more freedom.
That's
Looks
cool.
like it, yeah.
What's his name?
Ben Smith.
Ben Smith. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like finally someone at the New York Times now calling out a lot of what we all see.
Nice.
And it's great. Like notably, he called out the Joe Biden defense from the New York Times.
Yeah.
Like he questioned it.
Okay.
He also called out CNN for faking the Chris Cuomo quarantine thing.
That's amazing.
And I was
believe
like,
that.
wow.
That whole thing is hilarious.
Yeah,
I
bravo.
know.
And I tweeted this too, and this is big for me. I was like, I almost forgot what real journalism looked like.
I know, right?
And then he's like, hey, CNN. He said CNN was eliding the Cuomo controversy because Cuomo comes out of his basement like, look, I'm not quarantined anymore. And
That
it's like,
video is so stupid too.
Oh, so stilted.
know.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
gosh.
cringy.
dude,
No.
you were caught. You were caught
We
like
already
30 minutes
know.
from your house, bro.
Yeah.
But he tweeted about it, and I was like, wow, that's great. New York Times, because they got a lot of bad people over there, man.
Ugh.
Yeah, but the New York Times is not the worst. I'd give them like a 6 out of 10. And they do a lot of good factual reporting. Like they're one of the best. The AP, I think, is the best.
Okay.
The AP and PBS do a really, really good job. The problem with the New York Times is that editorially they aren't in the bag for Democrats. That
Yeah.
means when critical political stories pop up, you can't trust what they write. When certain tech stories pop up, you can a little bit, but they're also extremely biased against Google because they think they deserve Google's money. They're like, Google has displaced news, therefore Google should pay us. There's actually I'm not sure if it's in France or whatever. There's a suit where there's an issue. Google crawls a news story, right?
Okay.
And then if you Google search, there will be a box that appears that gives you the gist of the news story. So what happens is the New York Times will write a story. Google will take the information and it'll appear on Google.com, where they sell ads.
Of course.
And then when you see that, you're like, wow, Donald Trump did a backflip. Moving on. Whereas in the past, you had to go to the New York Times to get the
You
news.
don't have to
Right.
go there anymore.
Google is infringing on their market.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful about those biases. But, there we go. At the same time, Facebook is training its AI to censor hateful memes. Yeah. You know what, man?
Dare you? My memes.
I think I said this about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we were in like the John Dillinger era of bank robbers.
Okay.
It was like the bank robberies were happening all over the place and the gangsters were there and they were like anti-heroes almost. Some of them were really villains. And we had all these hackers doing this hacker stuff. And I was like, this is that age because they're going to lock this down. Everything's going to become rigid, authoritarian, and we can see it happening in real time. So my prediction would be in 10 years, there's going to be like 3 websites.
Okay.
And you're going to have your page, like your information for your website will just be a Facebook page.
Facebook, Amazon, and Google
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, what would Google do?
give you any information you ask it.
People are going to have all their information on some social profile.
No, they're gonna have Neuralink. What's
In
what's
10 years?
this times this? I already know the answer. Boom. Neuralink.
Must be nice.
Yeah, but I'm talking about websites and how we interact with the internet.
But that's what I'm saying. It won't be the same. We're gonna have think what Neuralink does, and that's just the base level. Imagine 30 years afterwards. Like we're gonna think
in
some
10
information. What kind of information do I need right now? Now I know all the information. It's like the Matrix. How do I fly that helicopter? Now I know how to fly it.
In 10 years, I doubt it.
Well, no, I'm not
10
saying
years,
in 10
yeah.
years. I'm saying once Neuralink becomes a normal thing, and then think 10, 30 years after that.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not convinced.
No?
The 10 or 15 years ago, they were talking about those RFID chips you
Okay.
can get under your skin.
Yeah.
and people were getting them, and they'd wave their hand in front of a door, and the door would open.
Yeah.
And people still don't get them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I remember Alex Jones was like, they're getting the chips, Ver chips coming, and then it never did.
Okay.
Because you get a phone.
Yeah.
I go to my hotel, I wiggle my phone in front of the door opens. We don't need, implants in that capacity.
Yep.
I think Neuralink, maybe, but the issue is humans have a really difficult time implanting things.
Okay.
Some people do it. Most people won't do it. Did you
Okay.
know that you can give yourself electrosense, or whatever it's called, electroperception? I'm not sure what it's called.
No, what is it?
You can take a neodymium magnet and embed it in your fingertips,
Okay.
and then you can feel electrical waves.
Oh yeah.
Very interesting.
It gives you the ability to detect electrical,
That's so weird.
like EMF, electromagnetic fields.
But for what purpose, though? To stay away from
It's
it?
an extra sense, bro. You could put your hand on a wall and feel where the power cables are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Makes me think of
It's
that.
like a platypus or an echidna.
That colorblind guy that implanted this thing that he can smell colors now.
Whoa.
What?
You ever see this?
That's
No.
He
cool.
actually has an implant that comes out like a little alien device that's connected to his brain, and he can like smell colors or something.
so
Wouldn't
That's
you
weird. Yeah.
Wouldn't you
Cool.
want the ability to sense electrical fields?
Might be useful.
It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
So,
it is an interesting
If
thought.
you're looking to mount stuff in walls, or you're
Uh-huh.
looking for where the line is coming in, you just hold your hand over and you're like, oh, there's the power cable, and then you know exactly where it is. Or you can tell if a wire is live or not. You'll be like, whoa, that's live. I can't touch it.
Useful.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have done this because it's really cool. You can feel like you'll put your hand and be like, wow, like it's a sense, something you've never experienced before.
Huh.
I'm curious as to what the perception is. So the way it works is that your fingertips are very sensitive, and so putting a magnet under the skin, when it detects when the magnet comes in contact with the wave, it starts putting pressure and vibrating a little bit, and it puts pressure on your nerve. So what I've read, and I've never done it, I know some people who have, is that it's not like touch. It's something different. It's like you can feel electricity. It's weird.
Yeah, interesting.
So people know this. They don't do it.
So you said that most people have a problem with implants. Well, have you seen that Black Mirror episode where they have the contacts that record your entire life, and they can go back to and watch
Yeah.
anything? It's like, wouldn't that be like the computer of the future then, or the cell phone of the future? Just a
I don't think so.
contact? No,
No, because it's hard
it's not
to
an
use.
implant. They just pop it in and like. I
Maybe.
don't know. They
Temporary
figure it out so
implant.
that it allows oxygen to flow through, so you don't have to take it out. You just leave it in, and you just have your cell phone is just in your eyeball. I don't know.
So right now, contact lenses have the problem of permeability.
Right.
So that's why you gotta take them out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So for those that aren't familiar
cuts
with
the oxygen off from your eyeball.
For those that aren't familiar with lenses, the capillaries can grow over your eyes because your eyes are struggling to get oxygen to. So
They need to breathe.
Yeah, your
Maybe-
eyes gotta breathe.
They
Who
do.
knew? Yeah, it's
Maybe-
weird.
Odd thing, but yeah.
there's a way they can do it that it's like better. It's like, but for now, I know we're talking about the argument is in the future. For now, it's like, yeah, we'd have to solve that problem. Let's say we did. I wonder if it's still just a hassle.
Yeah.
I got my phone right here, dude.
I know.
You know what's really funny?
Good
Like
point.
in Futurama when Leela's wearing the wristband with the screen on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and there's also a video game called Commander Keen.
Okay.
You know Commander Keen?
Mm-mm.
He wore a wrist computer as well.
Sure.
I remember when I was little, I was like, man, that's the future.
Wrist computers.
And then I got a phone and I'm like, no
No,
one
this
is
is the
ever
future.
going to put this on
Yeah.
their wrist.
But
that
think
makes
about
no sense.
Think about what like a contact phone would give you the ability to. Number one, you'd probably be able to just think. They're already doing this where you can think things and then like text comes up or whatever. You tell it whatever. So if you had it in your eyeball, you can watch whatever you want to watch. It's just there.
In one eye, though.
projects it. Oh, you wear two then. Boom. 3D. Virtual reality. Like you were saying, like, man, if Neuralink, I just plug into, we're done working, Skyrim, boom, and you're playing Skyrim, But
There's-
if you have
so
contacts that actually
how would
are
the contacts-
actually seeing?
How would the contacts
I don't know. I'm just,
create the sense of touch, interact with your brain?
who knows?
So the Neuralink has very, very fine wires
Yeah,
that they have to
finer
connect.
than human hair, right?
So maybe in the future, one of the challenges is rejection. I'm sure Elon Musk is smart enough to know this better than I do. So
Yeah.
I'll defer to him.
Sure.
But what do we do? Like when you're one, they put the Neuralink implant and you get like a port on your neck and you can like plug
A
in,
USB port.
or it could be wireless. It's like a Wi-Fi.
That's
like
what I would.
Wi-Fi,
That's what I would assume.
Wi-Fi antennas are tiny, but what powers it? Theoretically,
Aren't we electrical beings? Like, don't we have I mean, couldn't we figure out a way that we power it?
The radio waves themselves might be able to give it enough power
Okay.
to transmit signals, because signals are particularly weak relative to like an actual electronic device.
Okay.
Maybe it's that simple, but I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
We've entertained the idea of implants. Maybe the problem is their use factor wasn't enough. Like the RFID chips opening a door, who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
It's not worth getting this thing, and they have this big needle, they put it in and then they deposit it.
It was silly.
But Neuralink would be substantially more beneficial.
Yeah.
You know what I think it might be, actually? They're talking about people who have spinal injuries.
Okay.
We might see this start where someone who's paraplegic gets the implant, and then they get an electrode at the other part of the spine after the break.
Nice.
So the signal can jump wirelessly.
Dope. I never even thought about that. That's
and then
great.
and then then they're healed. They can get up and walk around like normal.
Dope.
Well, they'll have to relearn probably.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
the signal can travel because we've created this jump.
A part of me thinks that he is doing this because he's afraid of AI and wants to figure out
Yes.
a way to make us
Hasn't he said that?
part of AI.
He said that.
Oh, he has said
I'm
that.
pretty sure he said that,
Yeah,
right?
I think
I don't know if
said
he
that.
said exactly that.
He
I'm
said it
saying
on
like
Joe Rogan the first time, I thought.
what, that he wants to make us part of
He doesn't
AI.
think
If we're-
AI is good.
If we're integrated with it,
No,
and-
I know he's afraid of AI, but it's like Neuralink makes us
that's
part
I'm pretty
of it.
I'm pretty sure that's his argument.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. That
I didn't see his
if we're
Joe
integrated
Rogan
with it,
article
there's no war.
or episode.
There's no Terminator scenario
Yeah.
if we are with the
we
AI
are
as one.
If we are the AI.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. Yeah, scary.
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess it would kind of be good. You're talking, you're like in the early stages. You're at Thanksgiving with your family, and you've got that one really dumb uncle or whatever,
Okay.
and he's like, "I don't know about that." And it's like, check, and he goes, "Wow, you were right."
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yep.
Or it's just like no arguments
Yeah,
ever
that's
again.
how humans respond.
And that's what the future of the internet is. Go ahead and check.
There would still be opinions
Okay.
though,
Yeah.
because of the
I
humans.
just checked all the facts on that.
But opinions wouldn't change based on that, because that's about your.
You're right. You're right. The opinions wouldn't change.
Right.
There would still
You'd
be
be like-
ideas out there.
Well, you're right that Donald Trump did say that, but I don't think it's a big deal. And then they would argue, "What do you mean you don't think it's a big deal? Of course it's a big
yeah,
deal.
that's
We
your
can't have a."
perspective.
Yep.
Yeah,
And that
based
wouldn't
on
change.
how you grew up or whatever.
But at least we'd have the facts together.
Yeah.
So when you say something like Obamagate, and
Yeah.
they go, "That's a debunked conspiracy theory," you're like, "Nope."
No, it's not.
But look, let's be honest, man. We can pull up on our phones.
Yeah.
People still don't want to do it.
That's true.
Yeah. You know what I do a lot when people are like, when I'm talking to somebody and they're like arguing with me, I'll just be like, I'll just pull it up on my phone and I
Yeah.
will say nothing. And I'll be like, "Here you go." And they'll be like, "Well, I don't know if I believe that." I'm like, "I don't care if you believe it or not. Whatever. I'm done. If you're
I
not
found
going
it. That's why they think it.
sources
Yeah.
don't work for you, then I don't know what the point of talking to you is."
Seriously.
Okay. It is about that time.
Super chats.
Super chats.
Awesome.
Super chats. So the first thing you got to do is hit that like button.
Like us.
Let's get
subscribe.
let's get 50,000 likes on the. I'm
Yes, please.
50,000
kidding.
likes.
50,000?
Likes really do help. So if you are so inclined to smash that like button,
But more importantly, share
Tell everyone.
and
Yes.
follow me.
yeah, follow Adam because you got to send him story ideas.
We
Yeah.
can still
So
share
that's the big
links.
that's the big thing.
Yeah, I always pin a tweet at the top of my page that you can just go and just put whatever.
cool.
A lot of times people are giving me stuff that we've already done or stuff that he has just done on his shows
But that's fine.
that are kind of political. No, don't stop though. They're all fantastic. Don't stop. Keep it coming. Even if you think that we've done it, send it our way. It always helps. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thank
for
you.
sure.
You guys are great.
Let's read some super chats. This is your chance to get on the show, everybody.
chat.
Thanks for hanging out,
I
people. We
love
love you
super
guys.
chats.
Yes.
King Canuck says, sent at 8. Hope you guys cover something light tonight. Tim, thought about transferring some of your trophies from your old sets walls to this one. No, we took them down. It's actually in the same space, but it's a different. I don't know.
Different world.
One thing I do want to do is I want to get some like writing or some kind of art. We've talked about guitars, maybe some skateboards with art on it or something.
Yeah, the problem is these are actually I mean we're in a completely new room, but these are still the same walls. I
Yeah.
actually built them on another panel so they're actually
They're removable.
Yeah, they're
into-
movable.
there's 6
So
of them,
cool.
5 of them. Yeah, so we could take these, move them around, switch them around if we want to, but
That's
they
so
don't
neat.
hold weight. So
Yeah.
we can't actually hang anything on
And
them.
the wood ones are really heavy.
They are really heavy
Yeah.
actually, yeah, cuz that's
Yeah.
actually flooring.
Yeah.
So
Looks cool though.
Yeah, came
Looks
out
great.
came out well.
Sharp, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it clean.
Yeah, the way I had it designed before was kind of just something I threw up in my room and didn't really make as much sense for like we're up in the production value, but I do think we could use some kind of definition at least in some capacity.
Yeah,
Skateboard,
sure. Yeah, something.
art, something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
character.
Maybe one day.
I like the guitar.
Mark
Good
G
start.
says, be honest, Tim, you canceled last night's stream because you were too hyped for the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 trailer that came out yesterday.
Maybe.
I already pre-ordered it. No, yesterday was just like a brutal news day where the news was like, ugh.
It was horrible.
It
Yeah,
was
I came
really
down. I'm
awful.
like, hey, you guys ready to get going on
You're
the?
like,
What are we gonna talk about? And they're
and
like,
I was like, my eyes were bloodshot, and I was
No.
like, what?
like
No.
crawling. It was horrible.
No, and then I
Oh,
crawled
man.
into the rejuvenation chamber and sealed it, filled up with biofluid, and I was floating for the next 6 hours.
and the new beanie came down. All these connectors had like, and just like.
Pretty
Gregory
much.
says, Adam
Right.
has gone full Messiah. Most certainly.
It's the hair. Yes.
Is it the hair? What do you guys think of my hair?
I'm
Huh?
loving it. Yeah. No beanie needed.
IB Ripidum says, face it, extreme partisanship is hurting America. Well, you got to stop drinking all that lactose, man.
It's true though.
Man, he be ripping them.
Yeah, man.
Jack, thanks for the super chat. Graf von Tirol says, CNN calls Obamagate a conspiracy theory. Meanwhile, they unironically peddled Russiagate and consider Greta Thunberg an expert in the coronavirus. CNN needs to get... This is the problem.
CNN needs to go away.
But YouTube's propping them up.
Maybe
Never go
YouTube
away.
needs to go away too.
No.
Kind of said it under my breath because I don't really, because that's our
Maybe.
that's our platform. So
No, because other platforms exist too. The problem is that YouTube has strangled them out of the market.
Oh, okay, that's a good
Yup.
point.
GM says, hey, Tim, been following since TimcastIRL began. Love it. Don't trust China. China is a-hole. That is a fact.
That's a great video.
Ceylon Blue says, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster September 4th with original soundtrack for the most part. Also, BuzzFeed is pulling back from politics after cuts. Really?
Yeah, right.
Ooh, I saw
Sure.
they had a bunch of cuts.
Sure, they are.
But it's because they're going to do rage bait culture war crap. That's
And
what
yell
that's
at the
why.
clouds.
And it
They
seems
yell
like
at the
they're
clouds.
losing their hold on their fame or notoriety. You know,
They've-
BuzzFeed.
Well, Ben Smith quit.
Maybe
Like-
that's what it is.
yeah.
Yep.
They're like, oh man.
Jumping ship.
Let's see. Cordy says, to the tune of Bill Nye's intro, Tim Pool is a real cool dude. Tim.
Yes.
I could actually do the Tim, like Bill Nye.
Yeah, why didn't you go for
Because
it?
it was funnier that I read it monotone.
Tim. Oh,
I was
yeah.
really looking forward to that. Go on.
Eric says, what's your guys' feeling on reopening the economy? I think we do it with social distancing. We don't
Yep.
have concerts, we don't have conventions, and I think we'll be fine.
We can be smart.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lambdacor says, my birthday was the 8th, and I haven't been up to watch the streams and super chat this. And I haven't been. Hope everyone is doing well. Stay safe, everyone. Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
Artemis Fowl says, Tim Pool, I believe you need to rein in your bias when it comes to the Arbery shooting case. You keep implying the men are murderers. Stop using deserve. Shootings are justified, not deserved. I keep implying the men are murderers?
Wait. What?
You know what? And that story is so confusing. Conservatives are all on. I got tagged in this red state debunk
Okay.
because I did a video. There was a local news report that said the footage appeared to show Arbery several times at night.
Yeah.
According to one screen filmed from a cell phone video that someone sent me, ABC claimed that the family denied it. I couldn't find the article anywhere. I couldn't find anyone asserting it. I couldn't find anything countering the point made by the local journalists who pointed out the video. But there's Red State said that they were the one source I found saying that the man is different. But I'm like, you know, man, I got to wait for more information on this one. But I did
That's
put
the
it
thing. I don't know anything about it. Everything I'm seeing, as I said earlier, it's like I see people over here and people over here spouting whatever, information they've heard.
Bias.
But it's like everything I'm looking at isn't real information. It's like what they took and like, yeah, that must be true. So I'm going to yell it to the sky. And it's like
The weirdest
but
thing
I
is the
don't know any-
conservatives defending this.
I don't know any truth of it yet.
It's totally normal to go into a construction site all the time. Like, what?
I mean, I worked construction, and that's not true
not
at
normal.
all.
right.
If
Yeah,
if,
I don't
if
know.
anybody in the trades saw someone that they didn't know, because all the electricians, they know all the HVAC guys, they all know each other. So it's like if they closed out a construction site and someone's in there that they don't know, they know that you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And it's like you're probably looking for copper, looking for tools that were left out.
Yep.
I don't know, just like
Copper was a big
that's
thing.
shady. Like how is it? How are they talking like it's a normal
There
thing?
was-
Who's saying that it's normal to go to a construction
Everybody.
site? Like
ton of
I keep
conservatives
seeing
saying it.
Doesn't make any sense.
There
So
was
weird.
There was a construction site in Chicago, and a bunch of skateboarders looted it for tons of building materials.
Yep, that's
Because
that's pretty much what happens.
They were building ramps and stuff with it. They were like, free stuff.
Yep.
And they went in, and I'm like, that's why. Maybe it's Chicago. Maybe it's in urban. I don't know, man. Anyway, the point I was making before about the story is that the last I did a ton of searches on this. People are sharing a video where someone took their phone and filmed their TV and then you hear someone say, the family denies this man, and I'm like, bro, I can't use that as a source.
Not enough.
Right.
I have a local like CBS affiliate straight up saying there's footage uncovered that appears to show the man, and I'm like, that's what I went off of. So Red State apparently has put this out. Red State tends to be, and I mean no disrespect, a conservative commentary website.
Okay.
So I took into consideration. I added a note to the video that it appears to be. It might not, but until we have a bigger update on and we might not ever know. It's like, bro, it's a rock and a hard place for me because so many people are biased and trying to influence my coverage on this. If I came out and said, oh, I guess it's not him, and I have no source for it, then I'm in an equally bad position where I'm going to get a ton of people criticizing me for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's
I'm
just like, well, we should just not touch it because we don't know enough truth.
Yeah, we got to wait for
Right, and that's what I've been saying the whole time. Like,
right.
The gist of it is...
we don't know enough.
Yeah. Steven says, Adam, do a Jesus pose for us.
How does Jesus pose?
I guess he prays.
I don't know.
I think that's not Jesus.
I don't care.
I don't know.
That's
Close
the
enough.
soy Jesus.
That's the soy version.
I don't know Jesus. I'm not religious.
Antonio says, I'm glad you guys are back.
Thank you.
Me too.
Thank you.
Timothy, thanks for becoming a member. That is a great name.
Thank you.
Aw.
Coyle says,
It's all right.
Tim, your Ben Shapiro the other night was epic. Please give us more. Well, it's got to come out naturally.
That's right. Can't force it.
Mad people were hitting me up
I
like,
love
dude, he
it.
nailed Ben Shapiro. I'm like, all right. He's good at impressions.
Sometimes.
Now you're good.
Andrew says, hear me out. Joe Rogan, Tim Pool, Alex Jones, Elon Musk, one podcast, once in a lifetime. JRE Beyond, Thundercast.
Wow, that would be
Ooh,
insane.
That'd be so fun.
I mean, I'd be down to be on it, but I feel like I'm outclassed by all of them. I'd be like, why would I be
so
on
much
that?
fun.
It would be really loud in that room.
Oh
And I'd be
my
sitting there
gosh.
like, no, it would be Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
it'd be-
It's true. His
But-
volume's always at 11.
You know what's crazy about Alex Jones, man?
Him.
I was watching a video of him from like the late 90s.
Okay.
He was a normal guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like some clip where someone asked him, no, this was from the early 2000s. Someone asked him about 9/11. And he was like, the caller calls in and then says something like, how could you believe any of this stuff? And his response was like, listen, I got the Associated Press and I got a report here that says, and he starts naming people and he's like, now, let me ask you, like, what do you think about that news report? Because right there it says, and I'm like,
Oh, that seems pretty
sounds
average.
like
that sounds like he's actually looking at the news and asking questions. Now you turn on his stuff and he's like, I don't know.
I will eat my neighbors.
Yeah, I will eat my neighbors. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Like
yeah.
I understand the point he was making, but he's very, very different.
Well, it's almost like he figured out that crazy stuff gets more hits.
Yep.
Like
other people have figured out?
Yeah, it seems to
Oh.
be kind of a thing nowadays.
Interesting.
Crazy stuff gets shared more.
My neighbors.
Yep.
Like, wow. I would never eat human.
Yeah, he said that full well knowing that it was going to be
Exactly.
everywhere.
And I think it's because when they banned him,
Mm-hmm.
he became like he needs to find a way to get into the mainstream again to get
Yep.
that attention, to get that press.
Boom. Eating
So
his
he
neighbors.
went. So,
the way to
but it's
do it.
crazy. Like somebody made a meme about this.
Okay.
Where it showed him like one of his earliest TV show like public access things.
Yeah.
And it was like a normal question, and it's like the meme was literally just showing his progression. It was like the government is lying to us and we need to challenge the authority. The next one was like the government is staging terror attacks against its own people. The next one is the government is actually alien lizard people, and the last one was like 5G COVID aliens, interdimensional beings, cell phone towers, and like
Yep.
it's just been like it's gone nuts. Crazy. Yeah. All right, let's read
Yeah.
more. Toolbox says, Adam Cast spilled the beans. Smash Bros. Who do you play? Any characters you wish were in? Cloud, you play on stream sometime. Adam, Lydia, and Ein versus 10. So in Smash Brothers,
He
Melee,
ruined it for me.
I ruined it for you.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, you ruined it for me.
How's that?
That's right. Just
Oh,
straight
no.
ruined it for me,
Oh,
bro.
no, how?
Smash Brothers.
Tell
Yeah,
us how.
I'll explain. He's so good that when I try to play, we go this camera. Okay.
Yeah.
When I
you got
try
a
to
story.
play, I tried a few times. He wrecked me. It was just, going up against a pro. You're a pro.
No way, dude.
You're a pro, dude.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, sure. You're not getting paid by
No,
Nintendo
no,
or anything.
no,
You're
dude.
not on a team.
No way.
Compared to me, you were.
You
yeah.
got to watch these
Anyway,
pro Smash Bros videos.
To answer, he specifically said Adam Cast. So
That's right.
this is for me here. I don't play Smash Brothers. I mean, I stopped playing Nintendo stuff. The last thing I got was like 3DS, and all I did was get a bunch of nostalgic games that I used to play on my old Game Boy. So, but I would play it. But PvP games in general tend to get boring for me. I like multiplayer games, going out and doing stuff as a co-op, and that's all it is, just beating each other up over and over and over again. I can't do those games. I'm so over it.
You got to watch Pro Smash Bros.
Yeah.
It is some of the most ridiculous.
Pro Smash Bro. It's got a good flow.
It's crazy. So I used to, in Melee, I played Marth. And I've typically preferred playing Marth, but I think he's not that good anymore, so I play Lucina.
Okay.
Fox, man, I go nuts.
I think I played Cloud, didn't I? Wasn't Cloud
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Cloud's in there, yeah.
Yeah, and he's pretty good, right?
Oh,
is it?
I think he's
is it Zelda who's pretty good?
No.
I don't know. I picked some character. You're like, oh, they're pretty good. I thought
remember.
it was Cloud.
Maybe
I saw Cloud.
Maybe
I'm like,
Sheik
yes.
or something. Cloud is,
powerful, right? Is that what you're? Maybe that's what you're saying.
Kind of. If two people who've never played before,
Yeah.
one person picks Cloud and one person picks I don't know, Mario.
Anything else?
Cloud's really good for someone who's never played, but Cloud's got a really bad recovery.
Oh, okay.
So it depends on the map you're playing. I typically like to play in just straight up, not Battlefield, Omega mode. So basically Final Destination.
Yeah. Okay.
And just a flat battlefield.
Okay.
But Cloud's got a really weak recovery. So he's got really good recovery, but he's not one of the top. I think Lucina is in the top tier.
Okay.
But it depends. They change it sometimes. So from playing Marth, I prefer Lucina. But with Fox is kind of weak. But man, I can lock people down like crazy. Just like zoop, 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 zoop.
Yeah.
Just totally. And then nobody wants to play anymore. So I don't play.
Yeah.
But definitely not pro, man. I am not good at that game. I'm like someone who's played it for a long time. But if I played any pro, it'd be done in 30 seconds, and I'd be like, yeah, would not be fun.
Word.
LaSalle says, hello, guys. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Chuck
Hello.
Morris says, do as told or I will shut the Matrix down.
Don't do that.
You could. The Shadowed Archivist says, love the content, Tim and Co. Definitely not for anything serious, but you guys should take a look at J-Reg for a laugh. He referenced you in a video about the dangers of the alt-center rabbit hole.
Oh, that's us.
The alt-center.
Yes.
The alt center.
Scary.
The alt-center. What is that? What does the alt mean? Like, we're literal center.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Like,
center.
Yeah, I
Well,
guess.
I'm slightly to the right and you're slightly to the left, so that would be alternatives, I guess.
Alternatives.
No, that's what I came up with.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Center,
yeah.
whatever.
Why not? Okay.
Carlos says hello from the Dominican Republic.
Nice.
Hello.
What
Hey,
up?
Cool.
Do you guys have mango there? You ever have mango? Boiled mashed plantains.
We've talked about
love
it.
that
This,
stuff.
yeah.
We even got plantains. Did we ever
No,
make
never
it?
made
never
it.
made it happen.
That's a shame.
I know. We'll make it happen.
Pickled onions on top.
Mm.
Fried cheese.
Yeah.
Let's-
Chow.
Where we at?
You can put chow on there.
Heck
Technically Right says, book recommendation for you guys. The Defenders of Liberty, Human Nature, Individualism, and Property Rights in Parvini, by N. Parvini. It's an exploration and analysis of the history and development of classical liberalism.
Cool.
Very cool. I wonder if Sargon's read it. James Wallace says, toss a coin to my beanie man and soy Jesus. Thank you very
Nice.
much. But not to you, Lydia. You get nothing.
That's
You get
true.
no
I
coin.
am not wearing
No
a beanie.
coin. Matthew, well, neither is Adam right now.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
What the heck? Come on.
Yeah, well, I'm
Matthew.
soy Jesus.
Oh, that's fair.
Matthew says, Bill Clinton gave China the rocket technology in 1999.
Great.
Wow.
It's Bill Clinton's fault.
Yeah, a lot of
That was
things
a joke.
Cal Miller says, Netflix just announced an Epstein documentary that is going to be released soon. Any bet that they will imply that Trump is connected to him? They already had a clip of Trump and Epstein in the trailer, yet nothing with Clinton's. Oh, of course they will.
So weird.
So annoying how obvious the manipulation is right now as we go into the election.
I can tell you this.
Barf.
I won't be watching that.
I mean, I just watch reruns of Family Guy.
I
And,
like documentaries, but
you know.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. William says, Joe Rogan talked about moving to Texas if CA-LA County keeps things locked down for much longer. Joe, Elon, and maybe Tim in Texas. We've talked about Texas, man. We have.
I like Texas.
Texas is good.
I have the cowboy hat.
But
It's far from everywhere.
But-
That's
but
the only thing about Texas.
it's becoming a weird political place.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
why I
true.
was like, I don't know, West Virginia, man. But it'd be cool. I mean, there's a bunch of people down there, like Crowder's down there, the Blaze is down there. Jacob Reynolds says, should I start with a longboard for skateboarding?
You know what? This is what I tell everyone. Just go into a skate shop and stand on all the boards. Longboards are significantly easier to understand your balance. You have more. You can spread your stance out more. And I would suggest it. It is easier if you want to skateboard, like trick skateboarding, like the classic skateboarding. Don't ever get a longboard, because you're gonna get used to the board that you're riding, and it's better to get one board and stick with it, because you'll just become better on that board. So if you're planning on just skating around distance-wise, just scooting around the neighborhood, then get a longboard. It's a lot easier. You can get like a hybrid board that's bigger, but you can still trick it. And they're out there. They exist.
Dude, yeah. I've seen videos of people doing hybrid boards. Mm-hmm. Like it's built like a short board, but it's a long board.
Yeah,
hitting handrails.
Yeah, Arbor has one. It's called the Shakedown, and it's great. It's a great board. And
get some handrails on that thing. It's massive. You feel like a little kid again.
Yeah, they're huge. Like, it feels huge. Yeah, but they're great.
Word.
Soft wheels.
Here it comes. Luke says, Tim, with all the quote wrongs you said today, reminds me of the Orange Man. Just admit it and vote for Trump. Well, hold on.
They keep trying.
Hold up.
Lydia, are you going to vote for Trump?
I have not decided who I'm going to vote for, and the only thing I've decided is that whoever I vote for, nobody else is going to know.
You're not going to tell anybody if you vote
Nope.
for anybody?
Nope.
Oh.
I won't tell anybody
What
even if I don't vote at all.
And you said you would vote for Trump.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't like what the Democrats are doing right now.
That's a good point.
I don't like Biden at all. I want to understand what's happening, and I don't understand what he's saying. I have a feeling they're going to switch him out with someone that didn't earn their place there, and that's
a good point.
Is not okay with me at all. That's not what we're about.
That's probably the best point I've heard about why not to support any Democrat.
Yep,
if they
I don't
switch
like
out
that.
Joe Biden for Cuomo, they have knifed Bernie in the back.
Yeah,
Well, of course
that's
they're
the
attacking.
entire democracy. Like, oh no,
Right.
we're just gonna put this person in because we think he has a chance. It's like, what?
man.
We think he has a chance? Like,
Who's we?
No.
This
no.
is-
DNC. Mm-hmm.
If there was ever a reason to get me to vote for Trump, the Democrats have found it.
Yeah.
Because I hate the idea of voting for the lesser of two evils, but to allow them to continue to subvert the democratic process,
Yep.
they cannot be allowed to get away with what they've done with Russiagate, with Adam Schiff's lying. They can't, and more. We learn more and more every day. Like now, Joe Biden is implicated in the unmasking. He lied on TV about whether he knew about it, and it's like
ridiculous.
So, is it a punishment vote where it's like, but you know what? I'm not. I don't have TDS, right? I don't think Donald Trump is the end of the world or some kind of like antichrist or anything. I think he's another guy. He's another president.
Yep.
He's actually a lot better than some of the other presidents we have. But I personally, he would not be my choice. However, do I have to try? Do I have to do a vote of? Actually, I don't even think it's necessarily fair to call Trump one of the evils. He's just not somebody I ultimately agree with on certain policy issues.
Yep.
But for the most part, the Democrats haven't made any good arguments as to why I shouldn't agree with him on China tariffs, the building the wall, or anything like this.
Yeah.
So it leaves me in a position where I'm like, well, I didn't used to, be on board with. Well, I'm not on board with more conservative, positions. Probably like about taxing social issues, maybe pro-life, pro-choice kind of stuff. But for the most part, I think because the Democrats have gone so far off the rails, the conservatives have now built a coalition where you actually have pro-LGBT, pro-social issues. You've got people like Ariel Scarcella, who is not necessarily conservative, but you have the Walk Away campaign, where you actually have people who are like what the liberals are now in the Trump camp. So the issue, I guess, for me is, for the most part, is I've already said over and over again, it's been easier than ever to consider Trump as the right choice for one reason.
You're just teasing everybody now.
Not even. It's because people want me to.
Yeah, you are.
People want me to wave a flag, and I'm not going to do it. I never would.
That's
I
true.
wouldn't commit.
I mean, I'm not gonna go out and like put a Trump sign anywhere. Like,
I mean figuratively.
It's like we need the economy back, and you made a good point. He did a great job bringing it up.
That's the one issue.
Why wouldn't he do another good job instead of some random person that's going to come in and have to relearn everything, or not necessarily relearn, but
For 3 years, the economy was improving and better than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And now that, because this virus hit, and it's not Trump's fault, it's the governors who wanted everything shut down. It's the governors. Trump has no power. That's the 10th Amendment. So who better to fix things than the guy who already proved that he could make the economy work? That's the best argument possible, which, like I said in several videos, why it's easier than ever and why I'm leaning towards absolutely voting for him.
Yep.
And more importantly, I said it today, the scary thing about I will never vote for a Democrat, at least for the time being. It's maybe in a few years. And the reason is, you look at what they did with their power. They lied to the American people. They manipulated people. They're trying to put in insane policies that have gone so far to the left. There's no cohesive strategy anymore.
Yep.
And so if you actually believe in the policy of the Democrats from like the year 2010, the year 2000, the Republicans have won all those people over. So
Yep.
right
That's
now,
what it seems like, yeah.
so independents are fairly split, but they do lean by about 4 points, according to one of the most recent polls, in favor of Trump. And the Democrats, according to Gallup, we've now seen a decrease in the amount of people identifying as liberal and an increase in the amount of people identifying as conservative. So I have no problem saying, like, look, Joe Rogan came out and said he'd rather vote for Trump over Biden.
Yep.
I completely agree.
Yep.
I don't know what's going to happen come November. So, like I said, I lean towards that. It's been easier than ever to say. But I'm not the kind of person. I'm the milquetoast fence sitter. You will know when something happens where I'm like, it must be done. But there's still third parties. There's still things to talk about. And I hate voting for someone I don't want to vote for simply because I really don't like the other party.
Yeah, I agree with you that. Yeah.
The other issue is the Republicans need to do something about Mitch McConnell, people like Lindsey Graham. There are a lot of Republicans who have sat on their hands and done nothing, and
Yep.
as far as I can tell, are probably part of the establishment problem that aren't being, so we'll see what happens.
That I definitely agree with.
But the other issue too is like everything's changing. The Republicans right now, the majority of them, like the people I know that are Trump supporters,
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you were liberal. You know what I mean? Like there are people I know,
Hi.
right?
Right.
But you're
exactly.
not. And it's crazy. I don't want to name anybody because it should be up to them. But there's some people I'm talking to who are like as lefty as they come, and they're like, I don't know if I've become conservative or the left has gone nuts. And I'm like, does it matter?
Yeah, the left went nuts. That's what happened.
But then
Yeah.
you end up with people who are regular liberal-minded people who are now like, my only option is Trump. You know?
Mm-hmm.
The problem I have is like people don't seem to realize how Trump really is very, very different in terms of the professionalism, the character, and to be honest, the stability of the office.
Right. Okay.
But boy, was Obama bad. Boy, was Obama really bad. And so was Bush. Trump is nowhere near as bad as they were. Trump's got a lot of problems. He's increased drone strikes, the foreign policy stuff I've always been really mad about.
yeah.
But it's like Joe Biden would bring back the failures of the
See,
Obama
I don't know.
administration.
I wasn't political pretty much my whole life. I was just kind of lived my own way, and these past 3 months, it's been nothing but politics. We were supposed to do a show about anything but politics.
I know.
And sure enough, now we're doing this.
It's because of the lockdown, man.
Right, of course.
We were like Sonic the Hedgehog, dude.
Yes.
This is awesome. And then it's like now the front page of every news story is like nothing but the fight over lockdown and
I know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So, you know what, man? The way they rigged it against Yang,
They rigged it against Yang. Is that true?
and Tulsi. Oh, totally. They turned his microphone
Turn
off.
his mic off. Yeah. Yeah.
We talked about that. What
Yeah,
Donald
that's
Trump would
right.
do, they did to him. So it's almost like I can definitely feel the rage where I would love to give them comeuppance by seeing Trump win again.
Yeah.
But I am very, very strict for myself on like, I want to vote for someone because I'm like, this is the best person for the job.
Yeah.
And I've already said it a million times, Trump right now, there's no one better. In terms of the economy, that's what I mean. There's a bunch of issues in foreign policy that I think they're better people.
Okay.
Notably Tulsi.
Right, but she's not
She's
in the
not,
running.
but it's not even that. I could vote for her if I want to.
What if Biden chose Tulsi as his VP?
Nah, Biden is the Obama administration. The Obama administration blew up kids.
So there's no way you would vote for Biden.
Never.
Okay.
No way. First of all, the dude's nuts, right?
I can agree with that.
Tulsi.
That's funny.
I think one of the biggest problems we have is that a lot of the fighting in this country comes down to how we waste resources on like this weird conflict in these foreign countries. And it is really, really difficult.
We waste a lot more resources on everything, just as simple being humans. That's a huge problem that we have.
I think there's probably better ways to deal with the Middle East situation, the conflict with China.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what, man, it really is tough because character really does matter. And I've said this over and over again. The Democrats found someone that said very similar things to Trump in regards to policy ideas, securing our borders, bolstering our economy, dealing with the threat of China. And he didn't, he wasn't this bombastic entertainer type who was like, just constantly.
Wasn't Trump.
Yeah. He'd probably win in a landslide. So the question is, does Trump's character really matter that much? And I don't think
Probably.
I think that, no, I mean, kind of, but not enough. So right now, I would say, we'll see what happens. I think based on the pandemic, Trump is the best choice. Name any other politician in the running who's got the economic experience and the proof that they fixed the economy.
I had no idea.
Yup. You can hate Trump all you want. And I got issues with the way he behaves. I think he's funny. He's a great entertainer.
He is.
But it comes to the economy. And I think there's a lot of people who are scared to admit it. I mentioned this before. I saw a guy at the airport who said, I wouldn't invite him to my house for dinner.
Yeah.
But the money's good. And I think a lot of these people are secret Trump voters. They
Probably.
don't want to admit that they're willing to pick someone they personally don't like because they get good money from the economy.
Okay.
Like he fixes the economy.
Yeah.
For me, it's simple. Like, the economy isn't some nebulous system of making rich people and getting people cash so they can laugh and go party. It's so that we can make the machine work like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And under Trump, we had the best numbers of our lives, according to Jim Cramer. He was also right about the problem of manufacturing with China. And now that the pandemic hit, it's like, listen, the left has been wrong on way too many things.
Yeah.
They've made no arguments against Trump's policies. I mean, I'm being hyperbolic. They've made very few.
A little.
Very, very few arguments. They call him a bigot. They call him a racist. They call him far right.
Mm-hmm.
None of it makes sense. And so I'm asking, like, are you going to, they're not going to offer me anything. And I think that's the problem. I think you've got to accept that Trump is a potty mouth who's a mean guy, his own words. But man, is he better than...
He owns up to it.
Than what else you get. The problem with, so one of the problems with Biden, the reason I would never vote for him, Barack Obama says he had a scandal-free presidency. Barack Obama killed a 16-year-old American. He killed a bunch of American citizens without charge or trial. You'd think that would be a big scandal, but the press was defending him. They're protecting him.
Imagine if Trump did that.
Trump did it.
He killed Americans too?
One of the first things that happened when Trump got into office was he ordered a commando raid, which resulted in the death of an 8-year-old American girl. I believe it was Abdul-Rahman's little sister.
Never heard of that.
So these are things that I have serious issues with.
Okay.
Now, some people have tried explaining this away to me, saying that, look, Trump isn't a foreign policy guy, so he was being pressured by these bad advisors, and he was surrounded by deep state and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm willing to accept that if he does something about this.
Okay.
And then when he announced he was going to start pulling troops out of Syria, and then you saw the media really went after him, I was like, these are good things.
Yeah.
And so perhaps it's aside from his character, there's a lot of really good things about Trump that we haven't seen in a long time. But more importantly, first of all, I hate voting for people. I hate being like, I got behind this person, because you never know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But the problem right now
point.
is we are facing a serious economic crisis. And we got a guy who was in office for years who gave us a great economy. I really don't know what else you could ask for. So this is the point I'm making. I am leaning absolutely in favor of voting for Trump. We're not there yet. We're 6 months out.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it plays out. And when I know for sure, like when I come out of that voting booth, if I said, you know what, we got to do this, then I'll be like, yo, I went and did it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I just think you got to be careful, man, because you know why I'm like tepid on this?
Fence sitting?
No, because I voted for Obama the first time.
Me too.
And then you know what he did? He blew up a village of women and children. And I had to go to my friends and be like, I supported that. And that's why I'm like, I don't want to play that game, dude. You fool me once. So it was a drone strike, like 23 women and children. And then all my friends who are dancing around, I'm like, so now do I have to come here and be like, the people I knew who didn't vote for Obama were like, see what you've done? And I'm like, but would McCain have done something else? And they're like, no excuse. And I'm like, there is no excuse. We don't know what McCain would have done. Obama did it. Obama did way worse.
But they're saying it's your fault, though?
No, it was just like the point was like, you voted for it. And it reminds me of what George Carlin said.
That's virtue signaling.
Remember what George Carlin said? He was like, people always blame me, saying, you didn't vote, it's your fault. No, you voted for him, it's your fault. And I'm like, I agree. Like, that's why I in 2016, I didn't vote. Yeah. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't want to be involved in this. But I think regardless of your feelings on Trump, the economy is really important. We've got people who are in trouble.
It's like one of the most important things we need to get going again right now. It's like if we don't, so many people are going to die. They think the coronavirus is bad. Like, no. When the food stops coming and people start killing each other over food, that's going to be what's next if we don't get the economy going. So all I can think is like, we need to get this economy going. Who's good for the economy? Trump, he did a good job with the economy. It's like, I was never really a Trump fan, and I don't know Biden, but anytime I hear him speak, I'm like, oh, stop speaking, dude. No, just stop, please.
The wall thing is funny. The build the wall, the big beautiful wall from sea to shining sea, and I roll my eyes. I'm like,
yeah. I don't know.
We were watching Family Guy. Did you see that clip from Family Guy earlier? We were watching it.
So we're talking about this stuff.
Well, this is funny. They were in Mexico,
Okay.
like the Griffins with Quagmire, and then Consuela helps them escape.
Okay.
And then they're like, thanks, Consuela. And they're like, now how far to America? And she's like, this is Texas. And then they're like, what? And Quagmire goes, wait a minute. You mean we just walked into America? There was nothing there. We just literally walked in. He's like, come on, guys. Politics aside, we agree this is a problem, right? And then they all look at him and the scene cuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, what was this?
For sure.
Like Seth MacFarlane just coming straight up being like,
Little
why
red
is there
pill.
no... So, yeah, there's a lot of bombastic, hyperbolic, silly, I roll my eyes at, but nah, man, we need that economy. We do. We
Yep.
need it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how things play out, but that's what I've said before. And it's funny because, like, a lot of Trump people act like I've not said this. I'm like, I said this 3 months ago.
Yep.
You know?
Mhm.
We'll see how it plays out. Man, we really got to get to these super chats.
Holy cow! Do we have to get to these super chats?
Yeah, we're not going to make it because
No.
it's a good episode, though. It's good fun.
It was very fun.
All right, where are we at? Graf Fontiro says, how General Flynn is being railroaded is disgusting. Time to put a kibosh on the whole circus and pardon him. Face it, Democrats, Russiagate is the political journalistic equivalent of the Piltdown Man. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, maybe.
King Mad Hatter says, can you explain to a non-American how you can drone on and on about freedom but can't have chickens? You can have 200 ducks chickens before government gets involved. I have 6 ducks. I know!
2 words. New Jersey.
I want chickens.
Me too.
The Grizzly says, what's wrong with Michigan? That's a rather simple answer. Detroit is what's wrong with Michigan. I'm from there, out of state in Florida. May move here permanently. The thing is that Whitmer's making the entire state lock down because of Detroit. That's what it is in most states.
That makes sense.
New York City goes bad, lock the whole state down.
Because they can.
And then New Jersey, like right across, like Newark on the other side, or Jersey City, it's like, it's the same metro, man.
Well, it's funny because Jersey is almost... I mean, I know there's a lot of like foresty areas, but there's so many suburbs here.
Yeah.
The suburbs of Philadelphia and suburbs of New York City. And it's just like one big suburb state
Right.
almost.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
where
like-
all the people commute. They commute down to D.C. probably from here.
Yep.
Ah, man.
Yeah, we live in the suburbs of
Kind
big
of makes
cities.
sense. Yeah.
Big Al says, average age of COVID deaths in most places are higher than life expectancy of human beings. 90% over 60, 90% underlying conditions. Fact check me. No, I'm pretty sure that's correct. Nope says, if that 40-foot pipe fell from outer space, why is it so straight?
Good question.
Yeah.
Doesn't
The
make
Grizzly
much sense.
adds, even though areas like Kalamazoo has a grand total of 11 cases since the start of the outbreak, a lot of rural counties are starting to rise up. The outcome will be the same with California and New York. Violent uprising than a full civil war. We'll see. We'll see about that. But we did have a story where armed militia are blocking a bar saying the police will not arrest this barbershop. I'm sorry, not a bar, a barbershop.
Yeah, in Michigan.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like, no dice.
Yeah, the 77-year-old was like, I'm going to open my barbershop. Keep it
Yup.
open, whatever.
That's crazy. There are parts. I was reading something like I can't remember which state, but it's very similar.
Mm-hmm.
The entire state has no cases and they lock down. There's like one city with like a small handful of cases, so they lock down rural parts that have almost no contact with other parts of the state. The weirdest thing.
Yep. Power.
Yep. Elamondorius says, hey, Tim, do you think that Democrats are aware that they're hindering their chances of re-election by talking about permanent lockdowns? Or would they be safe from zombies in the apocalypse? I think they must be trying to help Trump. It's the only thing I can think of.
Yep.
Like everything I just said in my rant about what they're doing. They were like, the DNC is like, we really need to make sure Trump wins. Biden.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yep.
We'll see, I guess. Eggman says, calling it now, that Chinese rocket was carrying COVID-20.
I knew it.
Or super corona. Luckily, the made in China quality saved us all. There you go.
Ba-dum-tsh.
James says, so hopefully the Space Force isn't going to have to be a glorified trash cleanup service. There is so much junk up there.
That's true.
Definitely.
They
It's
probably
bad.
will.
Really bad.
They probably will.
Michelle, thanks for the super chat. Jerry says, so what you're saying, something made in China falls apart? That's not rocket science. Haha, get it? But
Love it.
I get it.
Carl says, earmarked for van maintenance. Appreciate it. We do have to do maintenance after that big trip. Sheddick X says, Tim, here's some Trump bucks. And have you heard BuzzFeed shut their doors in Australia and UK? It's only a matter of time when they close in the US. Whoa.
Oh, no.
Maybe
Oh, you
that's-
haven't heard that?
Maybe that's why Ben left.
Yeah, maybe.
People were speculating, like, are you leaving because it's collapsing? And he was like, no, it's just an opportunity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah, golden pair. Like, the people at the top get the warning, like, go, take the job.
Yep.
All right, where are we at? Meximan says LA County is still freezing evictions and just gave themselves right of first refusal on defaulted properties. This is a straight up land grab. Wow. That's what they're doing, man.
Whoa.
Alex Aiello says, Tim, keep an eye on Michigan tomorrow. There is going to be another protest, and Antifa is going to be counter-protesting. Wait. Antifa is going to be protesting in favor of the government? What?
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the Protifa? Wait, what? No, it wouldn't be Protifa. It would be Profesh?
Still funny.
What? Profa.
Profesh.
That's funny.
Check Detroit News. Whitmer outlawed brandishing weapons and changed the definition to include open carry. Wow. Christian, thanks for the super chat. Bobcat says, the rods from God is more of a bunker buster than a city buster. Also, can you talk about the disappearing mail-in ballots? I did see that story a few days ago, but we don't have anything pulled up on it.
Yeah.
Kojima Fire says, this is a question for the Beanie Bros. As it starts to warm up here, all I have are winter beanies. Could you recommend any light ones for me? The DC Clap beanie is one that I often use.
Yeah.
Go to skate shops. Skateboarders wear beanies in the summer because they're really thin. It's like there's also surf beanies.
I actually don't really wear beanies that often.
No?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're just trying to get with the show, you know?
I was. It's true. I saw your beanie. I was so jealous.
Yeah.
So I
had to do it.
No, I mean I have a beanie. It's mostly for just keeping the hair out of my face, but I usually just like tie it back and forget it.
When I'm getting serious,
it's just
like
laziness,
today,
honestly.
there's one trick that's always eluded me. I can do crazy tricks, man. I can do nollie, half hard flip, late flips. I can do
I've seen them.
Fakey hard flip, like fakey ghetto birds. I can do late flips, but frontside flips have always. I can do a switch frontside flip, nollie backside flip, fakey frontside flip, but regular frontside flips.
You landed it today.
Yeah,
I'll count it.
It was really bad.
Hey,
I did one yesterday.
Hey, you landed it.
So I argue I can do it, but it's always eluded me. But
you landed it.
I had to get serious. The beanie came off. I was skating.
It was interesting. He took the beanie off.
I was mad.
He was
really
focused.
Well,
I saw it, but then he landed it though.
So when we're skating, periodically I have to drain the beanie.
He does.
I'm telling you, man,
something.
skating without something blocking the sweat, it's like in your eyes and your face.
But yeah, I'm constantly having to wipe my glasses down.
Yeah,
I wish I had
That's
contacts.
why I skate in contacts.
Because I would love to skate in contacts.
All right, let's see. Where are we at? Ogre says, the rod weapon you're talking about is called the rods from God. These Air Force rods from God could hit with the force of a nuclear weapon. Yeah. Jeremiah says, hey, Lydia, if you knit, apparently well-knit masks are said to be better at excluding pathogens than textile masks. If you want to make some forecast.
Very cool.
Cool. St. Grizzly says, please do a video game stream or gameplay videos like PewDiePie. We'll watch it. Tony Hawk. When that demo comes out,
we can do it. It'd be so fun.
we should just make a new channel.
Wait, I thought
for
you
it.
said the demo was out.
No.
Oh, it's
I thought
not
it was out.
Oh,
They
okay.
said pre-ordering at the demo now, and I'm like, yes. And I pre-ordered. I was like, we'll let you know when the demo's out. I was like, you mother.
I wanted to say something, but
Yeah, I
it
know.
was a swear.
Yeah. K98 says 3.7 million NIH grant to EcoHealth Alliance to study bat coronaviruses in Wuhan Institute of Virology and gain of function methods worth looking into. It is. That guy who shrugs says, hey, Tim, check out the story about Fresno official assaulting protesters. He got 3 misdemeanors of assault. Watch all footage. It's crazy. They then caught CBS lying when they came on scene saying they were attempting to break in. I did see that. Story's nuts.
Wow.
Water Dancer says, Tim the Rogue, Adam the Bard, Lydia the Cleric, Ian the Wizard. Forgot Ian last name. The Wizard.
Yeah, yes, true.
Crossland.
Democracy.
Oh, last time.
Yeah. Democracy says, in the future, could you and all you other YouTubers possibly provide links for articles you are reading in the descriptions below? Thanks. I don't want to ask for a manager. Okay. So there's issues with that because this may be an urban legend and YouTube has talked about it, but putting external links in YouTube videos, YouTube suppresses those videos.
Really?
Because they don't want you driving traffic off of YouTube. So what I did was I made it so that the URL of all of the videos appears in the video so you can actually see it at top.
Oh, that makes sense.
That way you'll always know what the source is.
Boom.
But I'm careful about YouTube's got their finger over the ban button. So
but there you go. There you go. They're all in there. Whenever he uses something,
it is
it's
tough because sometimes the URLs have like weird strings of nonsense and it's hard to source.
I mean, Facebook is training its AI to censor hateful memes. You type that up in a search engine, that article's gonna come up.
I try to be very, very careful about what. So I know a whole lot about how YouTube's algorithm works and the things they do. Okay. They've claimed this is not true. I don't believe them. Because they also have a link approval system where if you want to put links in your videos, like that you can click on, you've got to get it approved.
Really?
Yeah, so like if you want to do a card where it's like, here's my website, it's
Okay.
got to be some like approved website. So I'm like, I really don't believe it. So people, they ask me all the time, and this is what I always say, like, YouTube will suppress this so no one ever sees it. So the best I can do is show you, here's the site, here's the link.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, man, like when people ask for this, I'm like, you really could just Google what I said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
You
like
know?
just it's the same amount of time.
Right, you type in the bar.
Open a new page.
Like Facebook is training its
Search it.
AI. Type in Facebook is training its AI, enter, and boom, it'll pop up.
Right.
You know?
Come on, people.
Yeah. I mean, it's a delicate dance, you know? All right, let's see. Elamandria says, the cat needs to be part of the program forever. I was thinking about putting the cat tower and then,
Oh,
have the cat
yeah.
sleeping in it. That'd be fun. Because then people would be watching and then, Buku and Betsy would be doing weird stuff.
Oh.
Probably
Yeah.
fighting each other.
No, they don't climb it at the same time.
No, but I mean like the individually when they're on it.
Yeah.
You'd be like watching the cat lick their paw. Didactics with David Lopez says, I live in Los Angeles and I can promise you that people will revolt. Riding is in our city's heritage. Get the popcorn. Yeah.
true.
Indefinite lockdown. We'll see.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Spartan says, hey, Tim, just quit my job at a warehouse last week when they started making masks mandatory. Makes no sense to require it now. Making more money working at a local butcher shop. Hey, good for you.
Nice.
It's funny because they were like, masks don't work. Don't wear masks. Now you should wear masks. So,
Now that we have all our masks covered, you can go ahead and wear them.
yeah. Arturo Caliente says, the S will really hit the fan once the recession hits. Job loss, tax rise, decades to recover. We only passed the prologue of the COVID saga.
True.
The true economic impact has not hit yet.
Exactly.
And even if they lift every restriction now, 3 months from now, you will feel it.
Yep.
And so I see a lot of people saying the moment you get those Trump bucks, you need to buy something tangible that retains value, because the moment they print the money and it drops in your account, the value, the buying power of the dollar starts dramatically going down. So I don't know what you should do. I like, getting things that, like, I buy tools and stuff, things that are useful. But what can you say? I'm not an economist. Stacey Ellis says, it is called the 1,000 Talents Plan, created in 2008. That's the Chinese people at the universities. Emily Payton says, high five Soy Jesus for no allergies club. Lucky. Andrew Starr says, Adam, your mane is luxurious. If I was a lioness, I would say grr. And then there are many lion emojis and laughing emojis.
Can I have my high five now? Thank you.
Blade Spade says, you can't just drop a giant rod from a stable orbit. To actually get back to Earth, you have to thrust against your orbital vector. Hollywood deeply misunderstands orbital flight mechanics. I would take Blade Spade's word over this than Hollywood for sure. Stupid Monkey says the COVID-19 virus lockdown never being cured equals the 1984 novel wars. Wow. Azazel, we're literally living in the plot to Captain America Winter Soldier. Ebrock, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Hard work, no handouts. Thanks for the super chat. Tucky says, any thoughts on Andrew Yang being a political commentator on CNN? I don't care. Good for him. I trust him. I like the guy. I'm skeptical on UBI, but I think he had a ton of really awesome policies. That's why I kind of liked him. He actually did have one of the best arguments for UBI. It is particularly complicated, as always. But good. I'm glad. If with him being on CNN, perhaps he will bring about some better commentary and probably, bring some honesty a little bit. Nobody's perfect.
Read this next one.
Which one?
The next one.
Wesley Velasquez says, Adam has an Instagram powered by Facebook.
So I was saying I don't have Facebook on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
But then Facebook bought Instagram.
Right.
And I've had Instagram on my phone for
Yep.
a long time.
That's right.
But
Man.
now it's owned by Facebook. They know when I poop!
Oh, no.
Yes, they do. They absolutely do. They're tracking you, brother. Solid Scratch says, when are you upping
man.
your game from T-shirts to beanies? That's this guy. He's gonna. Well, we're under a lockdown.
They actually, the company that makes beanies started making beanies again, and I was like, oh cool, I would like to make a dual colored beanie like this. And there's like, oh, we're not doing custom beanies, we're only doing solid colors now because that's all we can do because we're
So
shut
we'll have to
down.
wait.
And I'm like, no, we were this close, people,
We'll have to wait.
but we're this far away still. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Jeff M says, if I cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, I am sending all of my poop social media offices via UPS, showing social media what Brown can do for us.
Okay.
That's the UPS slogan, right?
Yep. What Brown can do for you.
Fearless Soldier says, watch the hated one on YouTube. He's a privacy guy that does tutorials. Also, what do you think about the movie The Great Hack about Cambridge Analytica?
Never saw it.
I haven't seen it. But I know Brittany Kaiser personally. I've known her for over a decade, and she's actually been my roommate at one point. recently. Wait, I think during that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I actually had a bunch of her stuff for a long time. Yeah, we had to throw away.
Great story.
There was a mattress.
Quite the twist.
Wait. Think about. Do we need to know this information?
It has to do with the cat. I'll leave it there.
Okay.
You know what cats do to mattresses?
Oh no.
Made it garbage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Jerks.
Great.
Yeah,
Personal
but
connection.
I haven't actually seen The Great Hack. But I know I probably know a lot of weird stuff about this that's like irrelevant. I actually don't know a lot about it in terms of what actually matters, like politics. Jack says you can turn off FB ads. I get very few ads on FB. Oh, cool. Graf von Tirol says at least Amazon only wants to sell you stuff and uses the site's algorithm accordingly. Google and Facebook creeps me out to no end. That I agree with. Lucas says Tim Ref, Chuck Todd, Meet the Press. Meet the Press is the longest running TV show on the air since 1947. It is like the New York Times of news shows. He has turned a legacy news show into a clown show on NBC. He really has. He is laughably ignorant and naive. It is bad.
I don't know anything about it.
Brutal. David Marcellus. FB tracks all the apps you use. If you go into the settings, there's one for offline activity, and it'll show you all the apps you use, banking, SM, and they make a big deal about turning it off. Wow. Chuck Moore says, I like typing random things into Google. I'm getting ads for horse liniment. What? I live in an apartment. Wow. All right.
Random.
Bert says, we need you in the UK to tear apart our BS media. Just tell Sargon. He goes, hey, Sargon, you got to do it. He does it, right? He called them dirty smear merchants. Mm-hmm. And then everyone started using that phrase. I love it.
It's fantastic.
Dirty smear merchants. Jeb Reed says, I got ads for guillotine, tar feathers, tea, beanie, night vision goggles, ammo. Seems Google has me nailed. There you go. Nikki D says, not surprised about the rocket. Most things I buy that come from China fall apart as soon as after I use them as well. Badumch. Jake says, thank you for explaining Facebook's advertising algorithm. I just started getting hip to this fact after realizing the ads were showing me things that I was only thinking about. Wow. Creepy. Yeah. Marcia Levine.
Yes.
Is that I got it right?
You got it?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sending this just to see if Tim remembers how to pronounce my name.
Oh, look at that.
I was close enough. Money helps your memory, or so I've heard. Did it work? Cheers.
That's funny.
It did, right?
Thanks for that
What
super
a
chat.
lovely lady.
Laura Wren, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Jake says the NRC in Canada has just approved clinical trials of a potential COVID vaccine made in China to happen in Canada, a.k.a. we're China's guinea pigs.
Oh, no.
Great.
Matthew says, are we going to see a Tim Pool cameo in the new Tony Hawk game? No. That'd be cool.
Sure,
It
why not?
would.
I got to make some skate videos. Carl's Jr. says, brainlets ads are targeted to you, not who you watch. I see nonsense because I anonymize myself. Right. Definitely. Mark says, so China's sending the next batch of Hornets to the U.S. in the form of rocket debris.
Yeah.
Yep. Purple says, driving from Colorado to New York for a funeral while listening to you guys. Wish me luck.
Oh, man. Good
We just
luck.
drove across the country. I think you'll make it.
You got this.
Let's see. Bart Lo Miege. There is a lot of device ID tech that uses frequency around 19 kilohertz. Also, talked with housemates about strainer for kitchen, and in WhatsApp, 30 minutes later, we all got advertisements that is not algorithmic. Interesting. Maybe. Star Wars guy says, Lydia, show your Blink-182 shirt, my favorite band.
Oh, hold on one sec. There you go.
You got to stand up a little bit. Come on.
Yeah, here.
Got to give him the full. There it is. Boom. It's pretty good. It's pretty
That's
good.
the name of a song.
You're
What is
the
the song?
only thing that matters.
Yeah, it's called You're the Only Thing That Matters. It's really good.
Jeremiah says, Lydia, do you want me to timestamp swears for you? Did we
No,
swear?
I got this. They didn't swear
I
tonight.
I don't think I swore.
No, they did great tonight. I got all the timestamps.
Terrell,
Oh, no, every time Tim swears. Is that what it says?
Every time
Tim
Tim
never
swears?
swears.
You want me to timestamp swears for you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tim stamp.
Oh,
Yeah.
Daryl says
Tim
Biden
stamp.
Biden is have AOC to be a climate consultant, already wants a female VP. He sniffs women's hair. Is Biden building a harem? Biden is gross.
Harem.
Steven says the anti-aging drug was a plot point in a book series by Peter F. Hamilton. There were people who were over 1,000 years old. Pandora's Star is a great series. You should check it out. Have you ever read that?
No. It's cool, though.
Marcia says, we need to get off this mud ball before we develop extended lifetimes. If we had the universe to populate, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. If I was immortal, I would want to search the stars, or else I would go crazy here on
Yeah.
Earth.
Well, you can just float around, 10 million years, you'll land somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully. Or just keep floating forever. We are expanding.
Yep. Yep. Metherol says, so BeanieCast, why do you think old and new punks, anarchists, tend to side with authoritarian measures even though it goes against the very meaning of being punk?
I wondered this in high school.
Because they are fake and they never were punk.
Aha.
Boom.
That's it.
That's it. I know.
That's why I'm
That's it.
That's
Seriously.
why I'm still all about liberty and rejecting this, when in 2010 I had the same, similar positions and have been about freedom.
Sorry if that was a little loud, everybody.
But it's like the people
But you nailed it. It was so good.
Look, it was pop culture.
Yep.
It was
cool to be punk.
Right.
Right.
They never actually cared.
I know some real punks, like punk rockers in New York, and they're serious, man.
I look forward to seeing.
This does not describe real punkers, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it is going to be.
It's the fake ones that want to be cool.
If Antifa really shows up to protest in favor of the government, it will be the funniest thing. Yeah. It'll be like.
It's still kind of funny to think about it. Like, what?
Totally.
What are they really
We're
doing?
anti-fascist, so we're going to defend the government controlling whether or not you're allowed to go outside. What? Profa.
Profa.
If I tweeted Profa is
Pro-Tifa was funny.
but it's
I know.
Antifa.
Yeah.
Pro-Tifa.
It's just funny.
Okay, so I have bad news. We're going to have to speed things up.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, we're already over. Wow.
Yeah, we're
Way
over.
Josh in Jesus says, Tim, I have long believed the people of antediluvian times that technology is advanced as ours, if not more so. Have you ever looked into that? I have not. I don't know.
Right after the flood, I think. A flood? Yeah.
Alex Oakley says, I sent you guys a DVD called Expelled, No Intelligence Allowed. I got home and realized I forgot to put in the note I wrote. It's about the world of academia with Ben Stein. Hope you guys enjoy it. Cool. We'll check it out.
Oh, cool.
Right on.
Jeffrey McCorbin says, Charlie Chaplin once said, so long as men die, liberty shall never perish. With that in mind, immortality could bring some unintended consequences. Definitely. Stormwolf says, just bought a car and said I wouldn't use tollways. The next day, Google automatically changed the settings on maps to avoid tolls. I was freaked. Whoa. That's creepy. Real every day. Conjecture equals opinion. Hypothesis equals unfalsified proposition. Theory equals fully tested model shown to make accurate, repeatable predictions. The peak of scientific inquiry. No one develops a theory. Cassidy Harvey says, about being young forever, check out the book Future by Dmitry Glukhovsky. Earth is so overpopulated because people don't age. So if you have a kid, one of the parents must die off so the child can live.
Whoa. Interesting.
All right, we're going to start speeding things up, guys. I apologize if we can't read your comments, but we're going over because we're getting too many awesome super chats.
There was a super chat that I saw earlier that someone is a tattoo artist and got 2 skate decks. I saw your comment, and I think we're going to have to skip it, but they were asking where we send it. Where do they find that P.O. Box?
Timcast.com/donate.
So go to timcast.com/donate, and that'll be where you can find the P.O. Box to send some skate decks, because that was really cool, and I appreciate that. I think we might actually have to skip your super chat, but thank you.
I can actually only tech deck with my left hand for some reason.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's because I'm ambidextrous.
Oh.
Yep, so I'm lefty with tech decks.
Weirdo.
Yep. Beta Fasta Chipa says, is it illegal to draft a person below 83 IQ? It is illegal to draft a person below 83 IQ because there is literally no job they can do without being counterproductive. How many people is that, you ask? 10% of the population.
Wow.
Yeah. Rilo704 says, hey guys, some friend from work and I are going to GA Guidestones this weekend and maybe Hatteras NC next week to check out UFO and pirate stuff. F a lockdown, I want to see conspiracy stuff.
Nice.
It's always fun. Chaotic says, hello from Canada, friends. I'm grateful for the work you guys do every day, trying to bring us rational information and discussion. I feel the fear over the authoritarian power grab, but at least you have a system to stop it. Technically, they're turning the Constitution into Swiss cheese, though, so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Two Rivers Lad says, how is fascism far right? It's an outgrowth of socialism and advocates large government bureaucracies. I thought the right of the political compass advocated for small government and far right no government. The conflict here is the definition of what left and right means. There's cultural left and right, economic left and right, and the cultural left and right is where people usually refer to fascism as far right, because the cultural spectrum is progressive versus traditional. You tend to see an overlap with the progressives wanting socialism, but there is a way to invert this. What ends up happening is the far left, because it tends to be both culturally left and economically left, is associated generally with the left, which confuses people when you then talk about like communists who or like ultra traditional capitalism is far right. It's weird and it's colloquial language that makes very little sense. That's the easiest way to break it down. Easiest way to explain to somebody, ask them what they're referring to when they say left or right. Are they talking about American political factions, culture war factions, or traditional versus progressive, or laissez-faire versus communism? Adam Bird says, I'm in the hospital with pneumonia, viral colitis, and fever. They have tested me for COVID-19 3 times. All have come back negative. They keep telling me because of your symptoms, we have to blame it on COVID-19.
Oh my god.
What?
Weird.
Viral
Yeah.
colitis?
Came up negative
Yep.
3 times.
But
and
they're like, it must be. It must be.
Holy cow.
It's like, no, you can't, you know.
That's crazy.
Kale says, Mambies.
Mombies.
Vosh says, let's be real. The reason these people are complaining about the links is it's not their links, not that they have some problem with the link sharing allegedly. Right, exactly. In
Yep.
reference to the BuzzFeed stuff.
Yep, exactly.
Gabriel McLeod says, Google data mines the cookies on your computer to feed into their AdSense and other advertising programs. Adam Bird says, the infectious disease doctor has told me that in some people the virus does not shed in the nasal cavity or in the back of the throat. This makes me wonder how accurate the tests are. Didn't some test like a papaya or something, or a poo-poo fruit or whatever it was called,
I have no
tested
idea.
positive?
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
fruit. Yeah, I
Right.
don't know. Who knows?
Sherry Social says, my liberal friend has a small business. She vented to me that their shop will close and that the Small Biz Association screwed her over. We live in CA. How do I respond if I'm more conservative? Love y'all. Look, man, if people are still going to vote for these same people, then what do? You reap what you sow, you know?
Yeah.
Douchebaggins.
Sorry. Say sorry. That's all you can
Douchebaggins.
say.
California has the largest population of homeless of any state in the U.S. They are largely not social distancing or wearing masks. Why don't we see a massive outbreak of the Voldemort virus among the homeless population? Very good question.
I thought we were.
At one homeless shelter, we saw an outbreak.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and
But
most of them are asymptomatic, I think.
It's because they're outside. That really is it.
The vitamin
That
D.
must be, yeah.
It's the vitamin D, and it's like they're not necessarily social distancing, but they're not huddled together in cafes,
Well, you know
in
what?
offices.
You know what? They probably are really resilient against a lot of bacteria and viruses, though.
That's true.
They're living on the street.
Yeah.
They're engaging with millions of
Human
people all
waste.
over the time. Yeah, I mean, it's like they're
They're not
probably
engaging with
like,
a lot of people.
They're probably
Good
prepped
point.
and strong, resilient bodies. Like no
They're-
joke.
They're not engaging with a lot of people.
Well, I mean, some people are like, "Hey, do you have any money? Hey, do you have any money? Hey, do you have any money?"
That's true. Maybe.
Yeah.
It depends on the homeless person, I guess. So I think one of the things is regular people go to Starbucks, tons of people, everyone touching everything. They go to office, everyone touching everything.
True.
Homeless person, outside, sunlight disinfectant,
Yep.
with their shopping cart walking around.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in those environments.
It's true. Oh,
Big old jump.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks,
Oh, yeah.
everybody. Appreciate you
I got to
guys.
figure out.
Where we were.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. We got tons of super chats. There are so many. There we go. Found it. The Grizzly says, last point. Violence between the urban and rural areas is inevitable due to the culture differences. The right is more used to and willing to resort to violence rather than the left. They are more willing to start violence. The right is? The left is more willing to start it. They just can't go that far, I think. Lauren Wren says, Tim, I have enjoyed sharing in your journey. Been a fan since Occupy Wall Street. Also, I got my Patriot supply. Hubby and I had creamy Alfredo and kielbasa for dinner. Thanks and love you, men.
Nice.
Well, you're not supposed to eat it right now. You're
Sure,
supposed
you
to
gotta
save
try it.
But I'm glad you got it. We haven't touched ours. We've got just the thing sitting in the closet. But we did go to the store and buy a bunch of beans and stuff. We have been eating, through it because I'm not, anticipating an apocalypse for the most part. Big Mitch says, Pool and Krigler. I'm a tattooer and actually just ordered 2 decks. Oh, that's the one you mentioned.
Oh, you found
Yeah.
his.
There it is.
Sweet.
Nice. There
Yeah.
it is.
Timcast.com/donate. There's a P.O. box. Send us whatever you like.
What is it, Big Mitch?
Big Mitch.
Thank you, Big Mitch.
We will get the boards.
Nice.
BlackRock Beacon says, I share all your videos and Scanner, Styx, Sargon, and other independents. It's time for the rise of new media. I'm doing everything I can to support you and other independent journalists and commentators on Minds, etc. Keep it up. Appreciate it.
Nice.
Mr. Paul R. says, kudos to surpassing Young Turks in growth in under a year. You separate sense from nonsense is why people gravitate towards you. TP. Keanu Reeves is Johnny Mnemonic. Jack and Still Don't Like Fredo. What is it? Jack and Still Don't Like Fredo Cuomo is fake. Wuhan flu, Greta expert, and what a ho joke. All right. Jack
That
Dawes
was a
says,
lot.
when will you have Stefan Molyneux on the show? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know a lot about him. I met him one time, but I don't really follow him all that much. I did watch some of the video he put out on the Arbery case. Clear, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
I hesitate on the guest thing because it's like I think we might not even have guests moving forward since the COVID thing kind of just broke everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know. Like, should I? Yeah, I don't even know what we're gonna do.
But
It's,
we
like, hard
will
to figure out.
review movies.
Oh
yes.
man, I cannot wait.
I can't wait. We can go to the drive-in.
We
That's,
can
becoming
re-
a thing.
Yeah.
We can review Trolls World Tour right now, man.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
it's made all this money. It's on demand.
I just lost all of my enthusiasm.
Oh, I know, right?
All right, let's read. A handy Redneck says, suggestion, next time you have news overload, like you seem to have had yesterday, why not just do an Adamcast deep dive on a non-news subject, just saying, we like you folks.
Well, on that, I mean, I guess that, can I take this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so I found out, usually when I was doing Adamcast, I would come up with the subjects myself. Neither of them were here, and we all do a story discussion before the show. So it's a lot easier. It's not just on me. I mean, Ian actually was coming up with some ideas too. We were bouncing off each other, but I found out pretty much like 30, 40 minutes right before the start of the show. So I didn't have anything ready. I wasn't, but I mean, enough people have suggested this so that I should just have a deep dive ready to go, like someone to really do an episode on, which I probably will.
Yep.
So
that's
if it does
actually
happen again. Yeah.
That's actually what we figured, because it wasn't news overload necessarily. It was that there was like the stories were all extremely weak, so it required a lot of research, and it was just a more difficult day.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then the general idea was like, that's a day that, when I'm like collapsed on the floor and like drenched in sweat, Adam can just run an Adamcast or something.
Yeah.
That's what we'll probably do it.
Yep.
Josh Seppard says, Arbery case. The electrician says isn't good to be in under construction home. If Georgia has duty to retreat, Arbery has problem due to charging the guy with gun when there was another way to run. That's I know, and nobody wants to bring that point up. Arbery didn't have to run in their direction.
Didn't he run right up to them?
So the guy is in the street. He turns right and goes around the truck and then attacks him.
Why?
I don't know, man.
I don't.
But the left is always lying about these things. Like, it's Jussie Smollett.
Just don't know enough stuff. Yeah, and it's like everything that they say, it doesn't really fit the narrative of what I've heard. So
I like Fry says, Adam,
what up?
When do you plan on doing your own show? Also, thanks for talking about chow cheese in previous episode. I am lactose intolerant and haven't had milk products in a long time.
Oh, cool.
I hope you
Dude.
tried it, because it is incredible. I actually
Perfect.
suggested this to a few people, and people are hitting me up saying it is so good. I'm almost actually scared now that I'm not going to find it when I go to the store. So don't buy it around me, but buy it because it's really good.
It is. I made a grilled cheese with it the first time
you
got
haven't had
it.
dairy in a while now, right?
No, we have today.
Oh, you did?
We still have cheese.
Oh,
So I'm
right,
like,
right.
We're going to get rid of it.
You're still eating the leftover residual cheese.
I'm thinking of something kind of paleo, but I'm
okay.
like, probably not necessarily. But it's like, how can I just eat better? So it's like we had mashed potatoes and salmon today.
I really got to start my own show.
Yeah, of course you
Be
do,
fun.
man. Of course
Gotta
you
do it. Thank you. Like fry. I appreciate that.
St. Miles says, all coins for Lydia. Oh, there it is.
Boom.
Thanks.
Unity B says, I think the worst the shooters should face is manslaughter, because they should not have been there with guns, but they had the right to defend themselves when their gun is grabbed. Right, I think it's a manslaughter case. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Minak says, love your content, Tim. I'm conservative and don't always agree with you, and that's okay. I watch all your videos. Keep up the good work. You are doing a great service to the American people. I just complain about my feelings on the internet, man. It's Fathead, Mr. Poole. Given the pandemic and the current polarization of government today, do you think that this is an excuse to hit the reset button on our current democracy? If so, would it be a quick restart or a hard reboot? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, we just need the courts to uphold the Constitution.
Yep.
But short of them, they're not doing it. What do we do?
Right.
I don't know. I'm not smart enough.
Boogaloo.
No.
That's a good motto. I like that.
It reminds me of The Patriot when Mel Gibson says, mark my words, this war will not be fought in the frontier. It'll
Right.
be fought in your homes, in your towns, in your
Yep.
schools. People don't realize how bad it would be. You do not want that.
Nope.
Scott Poland says, just hopping in, but have you talked about Justin Amash? He is a viable candidate that will pull in Democrats and reluctant Trumpers, worth looking into. Nah, no thank you.
Oh my gosh, your face, Lydia.
I'm making faces too.
No.
You seem absolutely disgusted.
I voted for a third-party candidate in 2016, and I will probably never vote for a third-party candidate again.
Why?
Because it was just nothing. And it seems like every third-party candidate is kind of like that.
Tossing
So,
a pebble in the ocean.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Pebble in the ocean. St. Miles says, hey, Tim, Adam, and Lydia. Because this is the most intellectual, entertaining, and calm conversations, I opened my 25-year-old Glenmoran, and I'm now having a glass with my feet up.
Oh,
Yes.
man,
This guy.
that sounds good. I like the
Jonesy.
Glens.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
good. They're good whiskeys. Have a sip on me, or for me.
Russian hockey talent agency says, "Give this to long-haired guy, please."
That
got
would,
it.
That would be me.
Yep.
That would be me. I'll accept it in cash.
Bro Cody says, "Tim, move to New Hampshire. You can buy chickens and guns at the same store. Live free or die."
Sounds amazing.
I do like the idea of getting chickens, man. Mm-hmm. All right, here we are.
Yeah, we
the
have
Brooklyn Way says Trump curved the press the way Kim Deal curved Jax, Florida, in 1989-1990. Straight up walked off the stage, and he was right to do so. Good for him.
Yeah, he was.
David says, "Tim, talk about the breakdown of the global food supply and the regional wars that are about to start. We need to know the cost of not exporting our surplus food. 1 billion dead in the next year."
I hope not.
Man,
More the reason why we need to open this economy
but
back up.
the crack is already there. So it's like...
Yeah, it's the hesitation. So it's like to catch it up. Eventually, there's still going to be that gap that we've been closed for so long.
When we shut down the economy,
Mhm.
we took the rope and we whipped it, and now
Right.
that wave is traveling all the way down.
Yep,
So
exactly.
even if we start it back up, the wave is still going to hit.
But the longer we wait, the bigger that space is going to be.
Yep.
Man,
Yep. It's going to
scary.
get bad.
Yeah.
Furby Slayer says, in case you missed it, in case you missed Rogan and Elon confirms any symptom matching COVID is counted even testing negative, includes death counts, means most deaths breathing weakness, also confirmed money incentive. That's true. USA Today confirmed this. They get more money if they have COVID patients. If
They
they confirm
confirmed it, huh?
Yep. Aaron says, "Hey Tim, have you seen the Unreal Engine 5 demo? It's one step closer to real world simulation. Games can now render multiple billions of polygons." I saw some screenshots and I was like, "Whoa!"
I know. PS5, Xbox, the new Xbox, all
Yeah,
these
dude.
new systems that are coming out, and man, they're looking so nice. Wow.
This is gonna be awesome, man. Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I've already pre-ordered it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Stoked. Tony's birthday. They announced it. Anyway, it's about time we wrapped up. We went a half an hour over because
There I
we
am.
love you all
We
so
love
much.
you guys.
There I am, right there.
There's
Right-
me.
There's
right there.
Tim. Point more, Adam.
Wait.
There you go. Perfect.
Point more.
Boom.
Yes.
Point harder, Adam.
Point harder.
And
I'm
there's-
gonna point at that finger to point down on
So
that finger.
hold on.
Yeah.
The important thing is, Adam will have a thread where you can send story ideas
Yep.
that we use for the stories.
Yes.
So
Yep.
so make sure you're
Yeah, it's
following him for
tagged on
that.
my page.
And then
me
Lydia
Yeah.
also
It's my-
has hers.
it's my- there it is.
Whoa,
Sour
there it
Patch
is.
Lids, LYDS for those that are listening.
That's my name.
You can follow her because she posts spicy memes on Instagram.
Sometimes, yes.
On Instagram. But we'll wrap it up there. If you haven't hit the like button, you could do so because it really does help. Thanks for hanging out. We do the show Monday through Fridays at 8 p.m. And now we'll probably more consistently have the show up because even if I'm collapsing from exhaustion, Adam will have some deep dives available.
That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Why
So the
not?
show will be much more consistent.
Mhm.
And we post clips every day. So make sure you subscribe, like button, notification bell, and then share this with all your friends, telling them that we are the best.
We're
You're
the,
like,
we're the best.
You're like, well, you guys, you listen to Joe Rogan? Nah, man, you got to watch a
Whatever.
show with Tim, Adam, and Lydia. It's so,
Joe Rogan's great too.
I know, Joe's awesome.
Yes, sir.
No,
You
I,
can watch both.
I don't listen to my show. I listen to Joe. You
It's a
know.
good point.
But anyway, listen to us and Joe.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
got
go.
two.
Yeah. Nice.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks,
We'll
everyone.
be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. We'll see you then.
Bye, guys.
Bye.